been a crazy bad weather these days, and as much as area where I live, where me and my husband are, is all right. It's just raining and raining almost non-stop, or with the little pauses. In some areas, there are actually major flooding. People are trapped. So yeah, it's been quite tough. And I tried to go to the gym yesterday. Before they usually close, I thought, well, maybe they're open, but then apparently they were closed. And it's kind of like up to the owner. Some places were closed, some places were open. I was just asking, I did message them today if they're going to be open, and they're saying no, it's going to be closed till Monday. So yeah, in the meantime, it's a bummer, but what can we do? I mean, people deserve. Let me fix the light here. Good morning to you too. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Hi to the new people. But anyways, yeah, it's basically just enduring the weather. And as I said, we don't have it bad. We're safe. We're fine. Unfortunately, some people are suffering from flooding, and that's super challenging. I didn't hear anyone dying, fortunately, so far. But people, like neighborhoods, are trying to help each other. There's some rescuing operations, both people and animals too. Like animals, I feel empathy for animals as well, because there's some just strays. They're not that many, but there's some strays, and there's some shelters, and they've been getting flooded as well. So gym being closed till Monday is like a least of the problem. So yeah, just praying for everyone's health and safety. And yeah, it will be nice. Feel free to do the same. Prayers for Vietnam, for Nha Trang, and for all the flooded areas. I hope the weather gets better soon. Someone loves my hair. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's growing. It's getting healthier. Hi, from rainy Los Angeles. LA. Is it rainy now? Is it like... It's interesting. I have some clients that I work personally. I train two ladies for many years now, and they both are from a lake closer to the Silicon Valley area. And it's very common that when we here in Vietnam have a bad weather, the Cali has similar weather. So I guess it's just how the... Well, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's just been an interesting thing that I noticed. Every time, and they check my weather, and they're like, yeah, we have the same weather. And once it gets better here, it gets better there too, very often. Hi, Tanzania. That's cool. I don't remember anyone being from Tanzania here. I'm doing well. I'm not complaining, except the training is a little bit paused due to the gyms being closed. And I mean, you can always do like I'm not even counting like doing shadow boxing and that kind of stuff. Like I do that every now and then, sometimes just on the place, But like a real training with a heavy bag, with other people. On the Saturdays there were supposed to be sparrings. I was going there, and the coach that I dressed, he wanted to see my levels in the sparring to work with me and give me some more pointers, for my progress as well. But all of that is postponed for now. I'm from Georgia. Georgia, same as Merab, Ilya, Vicha Kvartskaya, Levan Saginashvili, Lasha Talakadze. There are quite many prominent in Georgia for such a small country. So yeah, if you know any of those names, yes, I'm from the same country. But please, guys, don't spam, okay? Okay, that's a little bit odd question. Why you're married at such a young age? I'm 25 years old. I was 22 turning 23. You know, when I met my husband and we got married relatively soon, yeah, I don't know if there is anything wrong with that. The one thing is, if you are marrying young and you don't have education, you don't have your income, nothing of substance that you actually can support, because you get exposed to being too vulnerable. You know, you never know. If there is a need for you to leave and escape, you cannot do that. So I understand those kind of situations. You know, you got to be careful, and that's why girls need to have some sort of security that they can provide for themselves in the worst case. But I have when we met, I've been working. I had my online setup, 1% one man company, and I already worked for U.S. clients and European clients, and I had my pretty solid income for Georgia. So I met my person that together we're even stronger. I don't think that really, that specifically is up to an age. As long as the age of consent, and as long as you are having a little bit of experience in life, and you're not delusional, you're not like flying in the clouds, and you know that you need to be able to support yourself in the worst case. Because what if your, I don't know, husband dies? What if you're divorced? What if, like, it's always good to be able to rely on your own self. But then you try to find a partner that you don't even look at, you don't want to potentially divorce or anything like that. Your partner should be your best, like your on your team, fully on. So yeah, I hope I responded to that question, because it's a little bit odd way to ask, like, why married at such a young age. It also depends. Like, I want to have kids, at least first kid before I'm 30, and even that is like, it just, in my family, my youngest sister was born when my mom was 40, and completely natural, no pain, nothing, no medication. So as much as we genetically have that line, that we're fertile for longer than maybe some others, there is a certain biological gap that you want to, you know, have a healthy kids, potentially, like, just increase the chances for them to be as healthy as possible, and for you to be as healthy as possible as well. So yeah, for like, and potential to travel around, and, you know, don't rush with the kids, because, you know, like, all that kind of stuff. I think it's a good timing. It's good timing to meet someone in your early mid-20s, and to be able to get to know each other, travel, live, like, enjoy life together first, and then also not have that problem that, oh, we need to have kids, we need to have them desperately, because then you are already long enough together, and then you are, okay, now we want kids, we can afford it, etc. So this is kind of how I picture it. Oh, I had a friend my junior year of the high school on exchange from Georgia. Such a great person, family. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Which country though? Tell me, which country was that? Did you have braces, or am I tripping? I had braces. They're gone now, and I'm quite happy about it. What the girl was thinking when she was approached by a stranger. I don't understand the question. Dude, that's too big of an answer. I know. I ranted a little bit. I'm gonna try to stick to the chat, okay? Are you religious? I'm spiritual, but not religious. Which country, bro? Georgia. Sakartvelo, from Tbilisi specifically. Why do girls ghost men? I don't know. Same probably for the same reason as the boys ghost girls, and like ghosting is a little bit of the cowardly way to deal with whether a man or a woman. I've seen ghosting from both sides. That's what I'm saying. In my experience, I witnessed both men and women ghosting, like hardcore. And I'm like, just say that you don't want to. Just say tell me to fuck off. That is better than, just ghost. So I don't know. I cannot answer that. Okay, funny. Advance congratulations for 10K subscribers. I think, yeah, it's like around 70 left to get exactly to 10K. So guys, I mean, feel free to help me out on that one to round up that number. Where are you right now? I'm in Vietnam, in Nha Trang city, and right now I'm in a coffee shop. And yeah, like you see the weather. It's not raining now, but it's gonna heavily rain soon, I think. You don't ghost men then. Well, let's clarify what ghosting means, because ghosting is when you actually fall in the conversation, planning to meet, and they're making, so it's already engaging in the conversation, creating that illusion, giving a person hope that they might see you might meet, have some good time together, something like that. So you give them that hope, and all of a sudden you just bail, and you just stop responding, and you ghost people, right? Some people think ghosting is also when you message someone and they don't respond in the first place. That is not ghosting. That is just like, I can ignore you because there are certain things that I don't want to respond to. There's certain people I don't want to respond to in the first place, and I'm not going to. But yeah, that fact that you engage with someone, you show them the interest, or I don't know, rather you fake it or you genuinely feel it, and then you change your mind, and without telling them directly, you know what, I changed my mind, like I realized that I don't want to do it, you just ghost them. I don't think that's good. Some people are wild with their comments. Don't be rude. That's okay. You gotta be a little bit tough-skinned. So I realized that since I'm having a channel and I'm here, I also kind of need to be able to deal with that kind of stuff. So I appreciate everyone who is respectful and also try to protect me, by encouraging others to be polite and that kind of stuff. That's the community I want to be in. That's the community I want to grow around this channel. But at the same time, like, we gotta be tough, guys. Like, let's just, if someone is bothering the chat and like spamming, we're just gonna time them out. I and my husband and my moderators have that power. Ilya Taporia? Well, not personally, but funny enough, I know his cousins. With Merab, we have some common acquaintances that I know, and we've been friendly before. We went trained together. With Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, the football player, one of my best friends, she's a girl, they've been classmates, so they grew up together in the same class, in the same school. Georgia is quite small, and especially if the action is located around Tbilisi and like that area, that's super small. My husband is here. Aiden Chris says, my husband. Almost to 10K subs. Please help it up over, guys. We're super excited the monetization is back and sorted, and we will go lots of content. Yes. Basically, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Live streaming. Gonna try to do more short form and long form content too. Regarding more about the boxing and more about revolving that. But feel free to write down in the chat or under the comments on that live stream what kind of content would you want to see. Practicing English always gotta practice. I respect your wisdom, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I respect everyone back. Do you do combat sport? Boxing. Boxing is specifically the sport I am focused on. Do you know Khabib and Arman? Yes, I mean, I know who they are. I watch UFC. We do some UFC live streams too. So now the upcoming UFC fight night, I'm gonna try. Well, I'll see the time-wise if it's not too late or too early for Vietnamese time. But I'm gonna try to live stream it while I'm watching it, just live stream. So we all can watch it together and react together and talk about it. My mom doesn't let me play scary games like this, but you're cool. Hello. Oh, I don't know. That made me smile. That made me laugh. Thank you for that. Your Discord link has been expired. Yeah. Like, it's a little bit... I'm so bad with technology. I had this wonderful guy from Fiji, Costa, who helped to set up Discord, and well, obviously he helped it just, genuinely for free, didn't charge anything. But then I don't know what to do with it. So I don't know. I gotta ask my husband to maybe help me out on that one. He helps me a lot with some technical stuff, but yeah. Kind of I'm not getting Discord fully, I guess. Hi, New Zealand. Hello. What's your say on Dagestan style of MMA? I mean, they're heavily pushing on the wrestling. That's something they're super dominating. And wrestling generally, wrestling, grappling combined are more dominating and less entertaining, right? I'm not saying that is my opinion. I'm enjoying to watch it more as the mixed martial arts, and sometimes it's going to be more wrestling, sometimes it's more striking. But for the casual fans and casual viewers, it's not as entertaining. So we were talking about the last live stream that the definition of the activity on the ground has to be maybe like changed a little bit, and the referees had to be trained to kind of break it off in the right time. Because when they see that it's just getting a controlled time, but in reality, no submissions, no attempts for submissions anymore. Because when you go for a takedown, in the beginning you will try to go get there, get in a good position, try to do something. And then usually it turns into a hugging match. And when it's a hugging match, it's when a person on the top tries to, every now and then get there, but at the same time hold you down, and you're just there trying to survive. That's not an action. Also, those like small punches like this, it's not an action. So breaking it off more often, putting back in a stand-up, I think it's also going to force everyone, not only Dagestani fighters or wrestler fighters, it's going to force everyone to get better at the stance as well. So both grappling, it's going to have its place, but you're also going to have a good striking, and you're not going to be able to only rely on wrestling. So I don't know, we've been talking about that. Some people agreed with me, some people not, but we're just speculating. I'm from Georgia. Muay Thai? No, I don't do Muay Thai. I keep scrolling up. Someone said Emma Stone. Look like an Emma Stone, maybe a bit. In what you want to be better at yourself? You mean, okay, I'll try to make sense, take the sense out of it. You mean like in boxing, for example? Yeah, there are many things I want to get better. I want to be better at pressuring. I want to be better at faking the movement. Like for example, you twitch a little bit and then you change the position, go for a different combo, and by that movement you distract your opponent. There are a lot of things I want to be better at. No spamming, please. Definitely just how some fights go. Wrestling is a major advantage. We established striking more entertaining, wrestling more dominating. Like it's as simple as that. When it's combined, it's like no one complains. That's the thing. When it's combined, when it's like there is enough striking, enough wrestling, it's like really feels like a mixed martial art bout. I don't think anyone complains that much because like striking is more entertaining. I haven't seen people complaining about striking, but at the same time, well, I can watch striking, I can watch kickboxing too. So I think perfect. It's still perfect when it's actually mixed, and that's why fighters. I like Islam for that. I don't understand why people really antagonize him too much when it comes to that. I think out of Dagestani fighters, he's most entertaining style-wise. He has a good stance. He actually has a super good defensive style, footwork. He throws kicks. He throws check jab, check hooks. Like, you know, he does that striking. I enjoy watching his striking. The only thing is maybe, I don't know, he would, if he would do more often, people would complain less. But at the same time, why wouldn't you use something that is super dominating and it's going to give you a secured win? Well, that's what I'm saying. It's here. It has to be an UFC's responsibility. They need to do something with it. That they create a situation where you can just rely on the wrestling and grappling anymore, unless you're active and unless you really go for that submission. When it stops, when it fades, when the attempts fail, and it just becomes like a hugging, so-called distance. So-called what do you call it? The ground control. Then it has to be, let's break it off. Let's start like get back on the feet. Islam is the best. Yes, he's currently pound for pound the best. Where should they start MMA career? From boxing, wrestling? Wrestling. I would. It's harder to learn wrestling. So if you're a kid, or if you're a teenager, or if you're just a young person, or even someone, doesn't matter. I would tell you to start from wrestling, and then add striking. It works better for kids. As an adult, I guess you can do both. Focus on both. But definitely don't do like a striking first and then at some point wrestling. No, you gotta have wrestling from the beginning. I would like to see a lot of striking, but a lot of fights always end up grappling and on the ground. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand what you mean. I'm Georgian, yes. Nicely explained about Dagestan wear, but the fact is everybody wants something like Jon Jones. Well, I wouldn't want exactly like Jon Jones. He played a lot of dirty games, and people forget that stuff. He has one loss. He has his disqualification, illegal elbow. I think it was elbow, eye pokes. I think most of the eye pokes that have been ever done was by Jon Jones, and he doesn't even regret it. He's like been mocking his opponent. So. But we want to see fights like we want something like Volkanovski, Demetrius Johnson, Ilia Topuria. We want Pratis, Morales, for example. I mean more entertaining, more mixed martial arts wise. I take from what she's saying, she's a coach for martial arts. Well, let's clarify it. I can coach boxing, and I've been coaching boxing. I haven't done the competitive level, but I'm at the stage that I'm kind of self-coaching myself. Obviously, I'm addressing other coaches as well that I trust, so they help me in the preparation period. And probably after that, once I'm go through that journey, do some professional fights, etc., I would love to do a professional coaching in the boxing as the preparing the competitive athletes, competitive boxers for the boxing competitions. Though at the same time, like mixed martial arts, I'm an enthusiast. I like watching it. I did enough of it for like training for myself, and I dealt with enough people from different backgrounds. Mixed martial arts, wrestling, BJJ, kickboxing. enough to be able to watch the sport and kind of break it down into some pieces. But it doesn't make me a mixed martial art coach. Just clarifying that. New viewer just stumbled across you while scrolling. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Islam has amazing combos too. Underrated striking. No, absolutely. I think that's the, like, yeah, people forget, like, he knocked out Volkanovski on the second fight, and the way he did it, like, it was underrated. He has very good defensive counter combos as well, and sometimes counter punching. I don't know. People also complain about that oh, it's just being waiting and catching. But that is a sport. That is a mix. That is a part of showing the fighting IQ. So you're never going to be able to make it perfect for everyone. But I think when it comes to the grappling, I think there need to be some things changed. I'm not saying erase wrestling. Take that, like, that would be super unfair. But the frequency when they, like, break it off, like when they break the fight, like as a referee, having that power to do that, just to keep the good dynamic, I think it's one of the possible solutions. Is there a welterweight you think could be beat Islam? Well, welterweight looks interesting. I mean, in welterweight, there's some people who are, like, smaller or the same size as Islam, and there's some people who are, like, weight bullies who are bigger. For example, Michael Morales, I think, would be a super hard one for Islam. Not necessarily because of technique or skill, but the guy has judo wrestling background, and he heavily relies on striking, and he's like a Pereira of welterweight but with wrestling and judo background. And he's young, and he's undefeated, and he's hungry. Could be a tough one for Islam. I see if Islam swallows those Morales' punches, not the only Islam, I see anyone in the division being knocked out, easy. But in the grappling also, as much as the Islam is one of the best grapplers in the UFC, it's going to be tough against Morales, considering his judo and wrestling background as well, but also his size. It's easier to control someone on the ground when they're your size or smaller, compared to someone who is like a mutant almost. I see that one could be super tough. We also have Shavkat Rakhmonov, we have Ian Gary, Pratis is super entertaining, also has that knockout power, but at the same time, grappling wise, and like, yeah, people say that, oh, he was just holding Edwards, like, on it's, like, wouldn't be a problem. I'm not saying he wouldn't have a chances, but Islam's wrestling is a different level. So I see, like, Pratis would be more like GDM situation, maybe a little bit better, but still, like, in that, he would be in that. It would be a similar dynamic, let's say it that way. When the northern hemisphere has good weather, southern hemisphere is bad. That's how it works. Yeah, I guess that's. I don't have too much of the knowledge when it comes to the weather and that stuff. Are you aiming to fight for a belt? Well, before fighting for a belt, I would just fight to open and have my hopefully good professional fight record. And then we shall see. You never know. Funny. Female talking about fighting. No, here we are. I love Merab. Merab is the GOAT. Merab is the sweetheart, and we, like, as a Georgian, are super proud that Merab represents us in the sport. And I'm not in Saigon. I'm in Nechang City. Ilya versus Islam. 170, 70-30 or 60-40 Islam's side. 155. I would take Ilya 60-40 against Islam, and the catch weight, let's call it 50-50, you know what I mean? That's my take. Oh, I believe Ilya can win, but I also admit that Islam can win too. The thing is, they are both super well-rounded, with a slight advantage on different aspects, like Ilya's striking and special offensive striking, but combo, he also can go defensive too. Like Ilya's boxing specifically is ahead of Makhachev, but Makhachev is not bad either as well. I just been ranting about how underrated is his striking as well, right? But I think especially maybe in the catch weight would be optimal. In the welterweight, Ilya would have to gain muscle mass, and then he would do the water cut, and then he would regain as much as he would contribute into gaining that muscle mass, and it's not an easy job to do, especially in a short period of time. That would determine his ability to regain that weight on the fight day, and he would need that weight against Islam, because Islam is also planning to. He was saying that he didn't get big enough, and he wants to gain even more muscle mass so he can regain more weight after the passing the weights. So yeah, welterweight could be super difficult. You know what I mean? Even though his power could be even increased. But just generally for Islam, it would be easier. It would be advantage for him to be able to control Ilya on the ground. But here comes another thing. Ilya is also coming from the wrestling background, BJJ, and the beautiful thing is no one really knows how good Ilya is. How does he wrestle? Because he has the wrestling. He uses it as to have a security, like he knows how to take down defense. He can work on the ground, but he tries to keep the fight in the stance because, well, I guess he's just smart about it. He understands that it's more entertaining for people to see how him knocking out. So I think this is how he built his game. It really depends how it will go and which weight class. That also would determine the chances and stakes. Are you Orthodox Christian? I am from the Orthodox Christian country, but let's say I share a lot of Christian values, but I have a personal system, belief system. I also like Hindu and Buddhist religions, for example. I also share a lot of that. So as I said, I like to learn and investigate and seek for the truth and those values that, you know, you don't have only in Christianity, you have in many other philosophies and religions, and it's called inherent truth. And also, plus on the top, you put, you know, common sense and critical thinking and maybe a little bit scientific thinking too. And yeah, that's called like that's how I call it, personal system, the belief system. Are you not getting afraid to hit in the face? Not really. I'm fine with that. I wouldn't want to get hit by a big guy, but in my weight class against the women, my weight class should be fine. Please give some advice to make my body stronger before starting MMA. Oh, okay, that's a good. Well, you don't have to do it necessarily to do before. There is such a thing called periodization. So periodization is how you distribute your trainings according to your goals, and now in the modern approaches it's possible to kind of combine them, and you can switch the heavy focus from one goal to another. For example, you want to start MMA, start doing that. Start doing MMA classes. Start, be around that area. Depending on your time, there are mixed MMA classes and there are split classes like BJJ separate, boxing separate, kickboxing, Muay Thai separate. It's better to train everything separately if you want better quality, but also time-wise, it's like too many classes, too many days of training. So in the beginning, take generic MMA class and maybe go boxing or wrestling. And let's say you do that a couple times a week. Well, what you can do also, start implementing a strength program. So there are different ways how to do it. Rather, you have couple days of the strength day, and you split body the way that, let's say you have upper body one day, lower body the other day. And when you want to do strengths, there is certain rules to it. You're not trying to hit hypertrophy, which is like 8 to 12 repetitions, and you're not trying to hit muscle failure too much. What you try to do is to go heavier lifting with the lower repetition amount, like less than 5 repetitions, and pick exercises like for the upper body. It's better to do pull-ups and dips. You cannot do it, it's fine, you can do just jump up, do eccentric, again jump back, do eccentric. This is how I do on dips, for example. This is the principle of strength training, no matter how you do it or like how many repetitions. You do less than 5 repetitions and you rest for a long time, and you try not to get to the muscle failure, because here you're not necessarily training your muscle as much as your connection, your neural system that neural system, neural response, because strength essentially is a skill. And then you will just start, like you get generically stronger, you're going to gain relative strength to your body, and then you just do technique. Let's say you do boxing technique. All of a sudden you do that technique, but because you have that strength that you developed through additional separate strength training, all of a sudden you punch harder. So you can implement it. Also, another way that I've been using to what is called Grease the Groove approach. That's Pavel Tsatsouline. You look it up. That his approach is you can do that every day. You do less than 5 repetitions too, but in the rest periods, you don't even do that only in gym. You do it throughout the entire day. Let's say you do once in an hour. At least you need to rest between sets for half an hour. And again, no muscle failure, no struggling. If you can do maximum like 5, do 2. That's it. And then you do that repetitively. And then you do that every day, trying to avoid that soreness. If you feel sore, you can, rest that one day, let your body recover, do it again. But what is going to happen when you all of a sudden can do, you can do 6, 7, well, you drop back to 5, but then you need to put on, I don't know, a weight vest or something like that, just to have something, or just go slower on eccentric, just to make it, within the strength development range. I ranted a little bit more, but I think that the information could be useful. So I'm black belt jiu-jitsu. I've been boxing, grappling for the last 15 years, and I know you girls are tough, but I feel bad when you guys take on one to the face. I understand that, that's fine, but it's a sport, right? Again, thanks God, I'm definitely not planning to get punched and manhandled by a man. When it's a girl against a girl, it's look at it as the competition and the skill competition and the preparation, and it's like even others, if there are some people don't watch it, they don't like it, it's fine, it's personal, it really develops your character. And I wouldn't discourage women to do that. I always encourage everyone to do it smart, not like heavy unnecessary sparrings. No, that's already in the past. We need to be a little bit smarter in the preparation. But when it comes to the fight, where you're prepared for that fight in a smart way, your body, your mind are ready. Those are moments where you just have that fight with your own self. And I don't know, there is a difference between people who done that in their life and who didn't. And I'm not necessarily talking only being on the ring. We're talking about this ability to face your inner demons and, go experience it. Positive and how you look. I appreciate. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling up, guys. I ranted a little bit on the strengths approach, but the questions like that are a lot of people ask me usually, and I always take the chance to to respond when it comes to strengths and physical training. Peekaboo in MMA, maybe elements of it, but again, it's Peekaboo is very vulnerable for the easy for a takedown. Like I think Peekaboo stance wise and the movement wise is the easiest to just get in and do the takedown, because the style is it's offensive, so it comes at you, and it's like usually a cross foot. So in the boxing, at least you have that like quite a secure stance, and you don't break that stance. In Peekaboo, you can switch you can do the cross foot work, but as I said, it's even more vulnerable to the takedowns comparing to classic boxing. Black belt, we need to check this moment. I don't have a black belt. Are you talking about Ilya? I don't know. I think you can always trace it back. Like it's also a little bit like not the smartest thing to fake a black belt in the mixed martial art community, because it's very easy to track it back where the person got that belt or not. So I don't think anyone who's elite faking it or anything like that. That would just ruin their reputation. Wow, I'm learning so much. Thanks, I appreciate it. A European street fight. I'm a girl. I avoid street fights. I think that the best self-defense is the environmental awareness and knowing your capabilities. Technicians can win any battle if they play their cards right. I agree to a certain extent, but at the same time, the physicality aspect, endurance comes into play. So if you can have a brilliant technique, you can have a great pacing, you know perfectly what is your capabilities, what pace you have to hold to not gas out. But guess what? You meet someone like Merab who committed so much training for endurance and like high pacing that is not pace wins. And every martial artist that I actually asked, the professional pro ones that actually fought a professional bout, I asked, as the beginner, what is the first thing you would advise for a person to do so they they have a better chances to win? And he said stamina, technique, IQ, that all of that got developed gradually, but the stamina is something that's going to give you a massive advantage from the very beginning. Yes, I'm a boxer. Can I ask you something? Man with no fight training versus woman who knows MMA, who wins? I think you should check the videos, actual videos, because I don't remember about MMA specifically, but there was this, I think it was karate or taekwondo, this guy, there was just a compilation of the videos that not only women versus men, it just was the guys that were challenging, just as idiots who were challenging someone who was actually knew how to fight, how to do a proper fight. And one of those videos was that guy went in and challenged the girl. He challenged her, so she accepted it, and whether it was taekwondo or karate, she kicked his ass. Like, I think she did like a one hat shot or something like that, and he just got knocked out. So again, I'm not saying men are stronger, but if there is a man who's completely non-trained, meaning that this is how they would fight, then I think for professional female mixed martial artists, especially if the size-wise they are, there's not a huge disparity. If you are like my size and there is my husband's size, like even if he doesn't have any technique, he can just grab me and just sit on me. That's it. You know what I mean? So the size disparity also matters. But if it's like relatively close and you have a woman who committed years of her life to fighting, not only just martial arts, but actual fighting, like someone like Amanda Nunes or Valentina Shevchenko, and you have non-trained men a little bit relative to her size, the girl's gonna kick ass, I think. Oh, and well, what I've seen at least, that's how it's been. I think there's this one female. I'm always forgetting. One of the female UFC fighters. Someone tried to rob her, and she manhandled him, and she waited until 911 came. Here also, it was like an unexpected factor as well. I'm from Georgia. Georgia, the country. Are you an athlete? I'm training. Stamina is endurance, but yes, it's pretty much the same. Synonyms. It's synonyms. Level up the stamina. That's true. Okay, and keep scrolling up, guys. All right, I see there is some talking within the chat too. Feel free to engage with each other. I'm super happy about that. Even women are starting to talking about fighting now. What's cool about becoming a jungle savage? Okay, if you look at it that way, it's like it's your right, it's your point. I was actually mentioning that it's actually mixed martial arts is art, and it's a beautiful way, it's a beautiful path, full of respect, discipline, challenging yourself, challenging others, growing, getting better. For some people, it's just fighting, and for some people, it's just money. I don't blame anyone. Like, everyone has their opinion, but like that's why I like Jiri Prochazka. Like his attitude, except him dropping his arms completely and getting his head hit way too much. Like, I don't want that guy to get CTE. He's wonderful. Hold up, just 1 second. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, I'm just saying, like, if you know Jiri Prochazka and his mentality about, like, the way he lives, the war, like, he looks at it as the art, but also like a samurai path. I think that's the way to look at it, whether you're a woman or a man. Guys, I got a really bad sprained ankle while training. I'm so sorry, and one thing you can do is just let it rest. That's the first thing you should do. Hi, New Zealand. Hi. I used to be vegetarian for 6 years, and that was actually when I was an amateur boxer, and I thought there was something wrong with me. I genuinely thought I was just not good enough, like I was just tired. Apparently, I didn't have enough of the bioavailable protein, guys, so now I feel different. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Who is the most interesting prospect we might not know about in MMA, in your opinion? Well, I might be a little bit biased, but you know that Topuria older brother, who chose to be more of his coach, and then now he had already one win, and now he's fighting in the prelims on the UFC Fight Night with Beskat Alakmanov, yeah, I mean, I think Ilya's gonna, and they've been talking about Ilya, Merab, and Alex were talking between each other that Ilya lightweight, Merab goes up in the featherweight or something like that, and Alex becomes the bantamweight or something like that, or like maybe Alex goes to featherweight and Merab stays in bantamweight, but like creating a scenario of triple champion. I don't know. Let's see. He's gonna have a fight, and I'm definitely watching that one as well. Merab is fighting against this year, yes, and he's amazing. Did you hear about MMA Guru? I never watched the guy's videos. I seen his posts and people saying sometimes he makes sense, sometimes I think he doesn't really like Dagestani fighters. But I don't know. I also, have he ever trained in the martial art? I'm not so sure about that either, because people been saying that he never ever stood his foot on the octagon or ring or anything, like even in the mixed martial art gym. So I don't know. I don't really follow. Jiri needs more defense. He's stubborn. Yes, he needs, like, I think that's his words. He said, "Oh, I raised my hands, and now, like, oh, that's like I did so much even better with it. It's good to raise it." It's like, no shit, Jiri. Yes, it's, even in boxing, like what I like. One of the best things I do like is actually using your hands, apart from punching and throwing punches, using your hands for many different purposes. Including a defense. I saved her from being vegetable. That's my husband says. Yeah, when we met, within a month, he was like just, to say how it was. He would joke about that chicken is a fish. I would eat fish every now and then. He's like, chicken is a fish. It doesn't fly. It like floats in the water. And then we were in Cyprus. It was our first trip, and we were getting back in shape, so it was like, we started taking it seriously. And my husband is an amazing cook, so he would cook most of the food, but he was kind enough. He was like, would make me a vegetarian version, and then he would add some meat to his own. And then combination of, being like, okay, he's like doing that, like I can start eating chicken, like I'll eat chicken, because like, and chicken is a fish. So combination of those factors. Also, it smelled amazing, I'll be honest. So I started eating chicken, and by the end of the trip, we went to the super amazing restaurant. I forgot its name, but it was in Cyprus on the Turkish side. Amazing restaurant with a lot of meat dishes, a lot of other, like different dishes. And I think I ate all the meats that I could. Like there was like a pork, there was beef, there was lamb, there was chicken. I ate all of it. And yeah, I just like, you know what? I love animals, but I love myself too. And within the couple weeks, the way I started feeling myself, way stronger, way more energized, I was like, okay, that's it. Tom Aspinall. Well, Tom Aspinall, hopefully to get that rematch with Gunn soon. And you know what? If Gunn does the same thing, which he's known for eye pokes and dirty fighting, he gotta get disqualified. That's how I think they need to start enforcing point deduction and disqualification on the eye pokes. So martial artists just avoid doing that. You know what I mean? They just don't capitalize on that so-called habit. But I hope that happens, because if Tom wins and if Tom proves that, he got this, then Jones kind of there's going to be only one option. He has to fight him in the White House instead of Alex, because Alex would be easy for Jones. As much as I love Alex, it would be easy thing to do for Jones. But if Tom wins and he's like, yeah, I'm the champion, so you gotta fight me, there's two things that Jones can do. He can prove that he cares about his legacy and he takes that fight, or he ducks it and he kind of puts himself he puts his legacy a little bit under the question. What about what's up, Chris? I have Gary, Arman, and Ilya's brother all winning the Sunday. Yeah, me too. Exactly same. Arman is winning, young Gary is winning, and Alexander winning is winning too. Okay, keep scrolling up. Wow, that would be an amazing scenario for Ilya brother. You randomly recommended to me. What's your niche? Boxing, but also longevity and health, and kind of like how to try to have it all and combine, and community, connecting with people and doing that through the live streams. Hello, are you hear me? Hello, yeah, I'm here. Yes, and I'm hearing you. That's UFC. Great content to discuss indeed. Yeah, I mean, we also do UFC, but it kind of came up naturally. I started doing boxing live streams and talking about boxing, and then people are like, "Oh, are you an MMA fighter or UFC?" So it kind of, I think, the algorithm pushed me towards the UFC fans and people who watched it. And well, I've been watching it too, but I started doing that more actively, like following on every event now, because well, that's kind of became one of the biggest topics that we have on my channel. You sound like a perfect couple. We're definitely a power couple, can't deny that. And you went from 0 pull-ups to 10 in the period. Yeah, we were talking about Grease the Groove. That's the program that actually Chris introduced it to me. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to strength, hypertrophy, and a lot of stuff. So yeah, in that period, in the Cyprus period, I went from 0 to 10. And I passed the, later in that, like the summer period, I had the physical test. It was like a military-ish test. Don't ask me where they came from. I was in a certain community where we would do that type of training. And yeah, like a classic test, like 2-mile run, sit-ups, push was the pull-ups. And I passed the men's standard, which was like a 6 pull-ups for men, like at the very least to pass. For women, it was 1, but I did 10. So that was quite cool. I'm vegetarian, but also eat breaded chicken cutlets. Chicken is a fish. Tom Aspinall was losing that fight regardless. Well, I mean, that was the first round where Tom had 51% against like 27 on the headshots. Actually, he landed way more headshots on the Gunn, and he was starting getting his pace. Gunn did a great job while he was countering. He was throwing a majority of the body shots and the low kicks. But again, that's the first round. Did you see the first round, like just the UFC 322, Leon Edwards versus Pratis? Leon Edwards was winning. But then what happened? Pratis just got his pace. The point is, like, judging by first round and saying that he ducked after a nasty eye poke, even if he would win that first round, if he was winning, to me it was a super close round, but if he was winning that round and he still got the eye poke, he would not continue, he wouldn't be able to continue. Because after that eye poke, you know that the loss is guaranteed. And as a champion, it's your first title shot, and you decide to be not very smart, continue the fight after the eye poke, even if it's not the retinal damage, it's still your side's going to be blurry for entire fight because it takes a recovery. Trust me, I have -5 and I wear contacts. I would be super pissed if someone like double eye pokes me, regardless if it's like was intentional or non-intentional. So that's the point. After the eye poke, he would lose anyways. So what's the point people trying to make? Oh, he was losing, he would lose. Yes, he would. And it's completely unfair. And we need to start deducting points. And the UFC needs to start focusing more on deducting points straight away and also disqualifying. If the fight stopped because of the eye pokes, disqualification. Chris says, the more people we can save from become vegetable, the better. Eat meat and animal product is vital for your health. Well, we are also not like a hardcore carnivore or like a keto. We did keto, we did carnivore in the periods, and it can have its own benefits for the short-term purposes, like regulated insulin and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, balance. You need different nutrition. You need micronutrients that are like plant-based foods that are super rich on the minerals and vitamins of the certain kind, and then you have an animal products, fermented animal products, the meat and the protein, aminos, B12, things that are only there. So you gotta eat all of it. The best meal is to have some protein, and the more you train, you want a little bit more protein. You want to aim at least 1.8 to 2 grams per kilogram of the body, right? Try different kinds of vegetables, and as an athlete, absolutely need to eat carbs as well, both fast and slow. Fast and slow carbs, because you need for explosive type of sports and for explosive training, you need it as the primary fuel. So yeah. Low sugar diet is also key, but as I said, if you're actually an athlete who's training well, creating a deficiency in the, like, aiming too much on the low carb when you're in active phase of training and explosive training is not the best idea, because that's the purpose of the sugar. Sugar is not a bad thing on its own. It becomes a bad thing when you don't expand your energy, when you don't spend your energy enough, and it converts into fatty cells, and you basically gain your fat and lose your muscle mass gradually because of inactivity and all that kind of stuff. When you have high muscle density, when you do explosive and resistance training, you need it for efficiency. You need it as the primary fuel. Hello from California. Hi. Well, I appreciate for offers, but I have a husband. He's right in the chat here. If the question is important enough, gifting will make her see it. Yeah, super chats work that way, that it pops into a big blue frame, so I can see it. And yeah, if you have like a super important question and you don't want me to miss it, yeah, feel free to do the super chat donations, and that helps to grow channel as well. I mean, that's just the truth. Like and subscribe, people, don't miss out. Guys, please let me know how many subscribers are there now, because I'm trying to hit now 10,000 past that threshold. So let me know if you can check for me. Just check the channel and see how many subscribers are there now. It's a pretty voice, so what if it's deep? I appreciate it. Well, the voice changes. Like when I'm with my husband, I kind of switch to more like a higher pitch. When I talk to people and explain things, it goes a little bit lower, like a little bit crispy, and that is kind of normal too. Are you in the military? I'm not in the military, but I've done some military training with former military personas, with active military personas, and again, military is another field that teaches you discipline, hard work, the comradeship, all that kind of stuff. So that was a great time of my life. Crazy how girls cannot do pull-ups. I would do 40 right now, easy. Well, if you can do 40, you definitely are at a high level. You are like maybe 0.00 some fraction of percent of the human population. But yeah, girls, this is how we are built. Like, our upper bodies are not as strong, as developed naturally as the men's, but it doesn't mean that we cannot train it. It doesn't mean that strength program doesn't apply for women. That's why you have so much impressive women, that it's a fraction of percent. Not that women even want to do it, but the ones who decide to pursue it learn how to do pull-ups. Some of women do muscle-ups, and they develop incredible relative strengths. Relative meaning relative to your body. I might not be stronger than you by definition, but I might be stronger than you relative to my body. if a girl can do a muscle up and a guy at his size cannot, her upper body strength, relative strength, might be higher than his. But it's all trainable. It is all a matter of training, and I think this is super inspiring. Like, and you know what is the great thing? If you do this pure strength training, not like a mix with hypertrophy and all that kind of stuff, you don't really grow that much. And that's very good for women. Like, I'm not that big, but I can do pull-ups. I can do, if you watch my video, I can climb rope, at least to a certain height with only with my hands. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of getting there. And I hope to keep getting stronger. 49 subs to go. Thanks, babe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's do this, guys. Let's do this. I appreciate you being here, but I also, like, today, I really want to hit that 10,000K subscribers with your help. I said some inappropriate things last time I was there, so I would like to apologize. Well, I don't remember. Maybe I have not even seen it. But you know what? I appreciate your courage and your decency to be able to do that. Internet, we all, I guess, troll every now and then. And it's like, at least if we don't do it, it is a space that you can do that. And it's like, you know, being behind the keyboard. But not a lot of people can say that and, you know, apologize or take the responsibility for their actions. So I respect that hugely, and thank you. What part of the military were you serving? No, I wasn't serving. I'm also Georgian, so it's not the U.S. military, nothing like that. I was doing volunteering. So there is a couple voluntarily organizations where they teach civilians that field stuff, also what is out of it, like the different aspects of it. But it's also like a lot of camping and hiking and, like, you know, trail walking elements are implemented. That's why it's like, you know, the field part is more for people that get fit to be able to, you know, evacuate themselves in the times of need, and not necessarily military action. It can be a air square catastrophe, like that kind of stuff. There's like like they teach all of it a little bit, but there is also like a test, and 2-day test, like. It's interesting. They made it super hard, and it's like was written by a special forces in Georgia, but obviously they would do that for 3-4 weeks, which is crazy. I think Rangers do 2 weeks, the similar plan, and the special forces like a 3-4 weeks, which is crazy, something like that. For us, it will be just 2 days, but it's tough. It's tough. It was tough, and it was a lot of mentality, a lot of, like, there was moments of teamwork. I failed 2 times. First time, I didn't even pass the 1 hour time. Second time, I went, but till the end of the day, but I passed out on the sun. But the third time, I really prepared myself. I was showering in the cold water. I was spent months in the mountains and, like, you know, just kind of, you know, when they say to go to 3 years in Georgia and forget, well, it was like a 1 month and forget. No phone connection, nothing. A lot of hiking, a lot of trail work. I volunteered for the making trails and stuff. And third time, I passed with a very good. I did absolutely everything. I helped others, and yeah, it was something that I really prepared for. It was fun times. It was a great experience. Again, it's one of the moments when you face your demons, when you face your own self. Okay, I'm just scrolling up, guys. Appreciate it. My husband is communicating with you in the chat as well. Yeah, my husband's story, he already shared it in the chat, like the base jumping crash, to collapse lungs, coma, discovered GIST tumor cancer, surgery, recovering from 52 kgs to a normal weight at his size. And then, yeah, then both of us meeting each other, and then we keep getting stronger and recovering together. Now he's doing great. He's strong, he's healthy. He's doing boxing and some elements of kickboxing, like low kicks and stuff. So we train together, and yeah, it's been an amazing journey when I think about it. Appreciate you being here, guys. Everybody sub. This channel is really great. Place for males and also females. Please be respectful. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to make it more female too, not in the way that change anything about the channel so more females come in. 95% of my audience are male, but there are females that I engage with. They're wonderful, and they also seem to be wonderful, but also tough ladies. And you can be tough as a girl. You can be tough, but you can be lovely and nurturing and kind. It's those two don't counter each other necessarily. So I want more ladies. Guys, if you have daughters, if you have sisters, someone females in your surroundings, share my channel with them. There's some conversation about guys, you give some advice to someone here, and there is Chris says, please educate yourself as much as you can. I did it with help, information and knowledge. Research, educating yourself, trying to find the right information is the key, pretty much in everything. So that's a good advice. More and more people ask me about my younger sister. I have younger sister. She's 21, but she's beautiful, but she's nothing like me. She has some temper. She doesn't know, unfortunately at this point, she doesn't know good English yet, which I encourage her to learn. And my sister is a tough cookie. Who's your husband? Chat name. Congrats on your recovery, my brother. Onwards and upwards. Yeah, well, Aiden Chris is my husband. You can see him as in the blue text because he's also a moderator here in the chat. Newly single man advice for meeting woman. If you want just generic advice for meeting women, just go to the certain places where you can talk, approach them. One of our friends he was very good with women by just being able to approach them, and he had a 50-60% of success, 40 of in the worst case he was getting I have a boyfriend or something. But his style would be, you don't approach for a girl that I like showing her that you're thirsty and you want to date her. Start approaching women as friendly as you can. In a friendly way, I mean like if she has, I was saying, if she has a Guns N' Roses t-shirt, it's like, oh, do you like Guns N' Roses? Yeah, I've been in this, I like them. This is my favorite song. And try to have that casual conversation first. And then you're like, I like you. I think you're a cool person. Don't say anything much about you're beautiful or something necessarily. Just, I think you're a cool person. And I would love to invite you for a coffee or something. I would love to meet you somewhere. And I don't know, somehow when I was seeing him doing that, it worked. Most of the time it worked. But also, if you're newly single and there are a lot of things that you need to go through with yourself, I suggest you to focus on yourself as well. Okay, what is the best advice you heard and received? There are many advices that I heard and received that are great, and but I'll tell you one that helps me when it comes to the fighting. So when I think about sparring and when I think I'm getting scared, because everyone gets scared, but that's the thing, that advice that everyone is afraid. Everyone is afraid, and in that moment everyone feels that they are the only one they're afraid. It's not true. Everyone is afraid. And It's depends. It's up to you how you channel your fear. I think it applies for the life too, but it applies specifically for the combat sports, mixed martial arts, like right before the fight. Yeah, guys, anything, if you're gonna do any, you know what, like any substances that is gonna affect your hormonal background, do strong research. You gotta consult with the endocrinologist, and please, please do all of it. Blood tests. Make sure that you do everything correctly, because that can give you if done incorrectly, it can give you a long-term negative effect. Chris Aiden, you have a good woman. Glad to hear you are doing well. Wishing you both all the best, man. Thank you. Yeah, that's super lovely. Appreciate you. And thanks for being here. Wow, speeding wisdom. I mean, I'm not really agreeing on those things. There are certain things that I might be saying it now, but haven't you thought about it on your own? Yeah, there is there's inherent truth. There's something like that just works, and there are certain things that just work. For example, I like one of those things. It literally works in the physical world. It works in the spiritual or mental world, whatever you call it, but every action has the equal and opposite reaction, right? It works in relationships, it works in your life choices, it works in literal physics. So, I mean, it's something that we all have thought at our hearts. It's sometimes other people just articulate it, and we're like, yeah, that's true. I can completely resonate with. So I think that's great. I know keep cholesterol levels down is very important. Well, it's interesting. Some people have it genetically a little bit higher, and the cholesterol levels, as much as it's like obviously bad diet and high, too much of the saturated fat. Not you shouldn't erase it at all, but too much saturated fat and trans fats like the margarine and that kind of stuff, and like every fast food and factory produced anything. If you consume too much of it, if you don't move too much, obviously it's going to affect it. But the biggest factor of the cholesterol, affecting cholesterol, is stress, is an outside stress, and also stressing about that stress and living in that stress constantly, not having a moment of good recovery. Your sleep starts to suffer. That means you don't recover anymore. So it's a combination of it. It's not only related with food and checking with the food. Sleep, as the recovery factor, is the biggest one, and outside stress management. If you're too vulnerable and perceiving to an outside stress, that's unfortunately they're going to give you a hard time. So there's a little bit of everything. Try to learn or detach from the outside stress, and have the time of the work when you need to hyperfocus, and the time of the rest when you don't have to think about it. You need to learn how to separate it. Obviously, that's going to help you to, in the first place, it's going to help your sleep to be okay, but also hyper-focus on your sleep on the top of it. Try to not scroll. Some people are like, oh, this is just last 2 hours I have, and I just enjoy scrolling. No, it's not a good thing. At least put the red screen light, so you're naturally gonna, your system gonna start getting ready for the bedtime and for getting quality sleep. So again, back to cholesterol levels. It's not only the diet. The first two factors are actually the outside stress and the recovery ratio. Okay, and keep scrolling up. Okay, we have some conversations here. That's good. That's good. I'm just not saying certain words out loud because like I don't want any channel issues or something. But yeah, feel free to engage in the chat. And Chris is quite knowledgeable about it, so yeah, so feel free to share your experience and ask for advices as well. Though any advice, any medical advice, you cannot just take it from a person because just it worked from someone. Do your own research, get an endocrinologist and the healthcare provider, 100% gonna do the blood work, and then with the right guidance and with right information, then you can start thinking about what to do with it. Yeah, like stress, trauma, and grief, yes, and those are super heavy, but ability to learn how to move on with life, how to find a daily peace. Not like, oh, I'm gonna work and I'm gonna do this and that, and one day. No, don't think about that. You might not have that one day, but you have today. And I personally, like when me and Chris started traveling, I think I started learning that more. Like here in Vietnam, it's a beautiful country. I work remotely. I also got some side hustles. I do karaoke nights a couple of times a week, but pretty much everything that I enjoy doing. So I already created a scenario that I love doing what I'm doing. I'm doing YouTube. I have enough time to grow my YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. But let's say sometimes I have a lot of days for training. I have to do chores. I have to do this and that. Even there, when it comes to the task, it's like Kaz D'Amato would say, do things that you hate like you love them. So if there are moments when I don't really want to do it and I hate doing it, I still try to remind myself, you know what, just you do it like you love it. And always try to have a couple hours or something for yourself. Go for a casual walk, get that sunlight in your system, breathe, get the coffee, read the book, just have some time for your own, where you stay in the moment, where there's no future goals, where no achievements, nothing about like what's gonna, like for building that future. You stay in the moment and you just be with yourself. Like the balance, it helped me personally to live my life. I don't know. It's something that we all try to learn and get better at. But at the end of the day, we still get to that answer that it's all about finding that balance. Are you a professional UFC fighter? No, I watch UFC. We talk about UFC. I'm looking forward to go pro in boxing. I'm from Georgia, same country as Mirav and Ilya, by the way. Very true. Stress raises cortisol, and poor sleep causes LDL to increase. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Dopamine overload and stress, or dopamine, the drop in the dopamine baseline drop, and that is usually caused that we are in the stress. What we do, we seek for the cheap dopamine, so we create the spike. So we go, eating some junk and pornography and this and that. There are like a lot of sources of it, and then what happens? It goes boom up. And then it pushes your baseline lower if you do that frequently enough. And then you're gonna crave to do it more often, but in reality, you lock yourself in a vicious circle. The dopamine is actually not only motivation hormone, it is basically a movement hormone as well. That's why like Parkinson's disease, when they're like in the advanced stages, their dopamine levels are very, very low. The baseline is very, very low, and well, if it's completely zero, you're dead. You're a dead man, dead person. And the best way how to improve your dopamine function is, like, you need dopamine before you would need it to go hunt, plan it out, like do this and that, then you would achieve your goals. So the increase would go gradually like this, and it would peak once you achieve your goal. But instead of dropping down, it would also naturally decline, but it would decline to the healthy baseline where it's, you feel okay. You feel okay enough to be able to plan the next, set the next goal, do the next stuff. That's why, for example, instead of ordering food and get delivered, for you to get up, go to the grocery, get a few products, come back, cook it, chop it, look up the recipe, make that meal, sit down and eat it, is different function of the dopamine. So the more you implement those kind of routines in your daily life, you're going to start feeling better in your baseline by definition. And keep scrolling up. I don't want to run too much, but those topics are important because I've been there. I've been suffering from like everyone else. And once I got more of the knowledge regarding that and started implementing in my daily life, things started getting so much better. Are you Orthodox Christian? As I said, I share some Christian values. I'm from Christian country, from Georgia. But I have my personal belief system. I'm a little bit too curious to just stick to one particular religion. Why is the dopamine addiction an issue? As I said, not the dopamine addiction, it's like a dopamine function. How your dopamine functions, there is a way how it should function, and it's going to help you thrive. And it's also going to affect, by definition, by extension, it's going to affect your discipline, your consistency, all that kind of stuff. Because you cannot just become consistent because you push yourself. You really need to adjust certain processes in your body through certain actions, and you do that gradually. It's kind of tricking your brain, but kind of resetting in a manner that where it's supposed to be, rather than, again, in being a dopamine addicted, so-called, that's getting a cheap dopamine, but it goes like baseline goes lower. You do it again, you have that spike, it drops again, and long term, you're just gonna get stuck in a vicious circle. So it's not about being bad. I'm not telling you what is bad or good. We're talking about just how things are working, or if they don't work that way, and how, is it really good for you long term or not? Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Thank you for being here. I missed your motivating words. I always can try to give a motivation, but I hope this is a little bit motivating. Because motivation is not only go do this, you have to do this. No one's gonna do that. Yes, that's true. But let's make a plan, kind of thing, because let's make a plan. Let's ask other people, good people around us, for a little help, for accountability. Let's start building certain habits and certain lifestyle. And then you're actually going to have that luxury. You're going to have enough natural will to be able to push yourself for the higher goals. Yeah, Chris is also engaging in the chat. He's helping and trying to respond to questions and advices. Give the advices. Exercise is my best form of the natural dopamine. Well, because it's one of the reasons it works in a healthy way. And yeah, absolutely, putting yourself into the... exercise is basically putting yourself in a fight and flight situation. But it's like probably the healthiest way to put yourself in a fight and flight situation. I'm so motivated to do hard work now. I have some hope. I learned so much today. I appreciate it, and it's one step at a time. You got this. You got this. It's just about, and if there's something you forget from here or something we didn't cover in this conversation, go research. Ask AI, go type in Google, find a way how to implement one habit at a time. There are a lot of information regarding that. 1 second, sorry. Okay, but yeah, anyways. You got this. I believe in you.
Phải nhúng. Về là mình tắm rửa liền. Mình hứng nước mình xót lại trong cái đường ống em. Nó được đau.
Okay. Keep scrolling up. Sorry to your husband, but I love your speaking style and your ability to explain things. If that works for you, I'm happy. I was rude to you last time I was there, so I would like to take this chance to apologize. I appreciate it. As I said, I respect that. Not everyone can apologize and change the tone. The advice you give, I can tell, is 100 because I know knowledge too. That's great. I mean, it's a lot of those things we experience in the daily life. So, and a lot of those things are supported by the research. Yes, the totally judgment free, my guy, and I read a lot about it, and your advice was solid. PST is not take about enough. I'm glad, guys, that you were having a conversation there, so I just leave it to you. Do you enjoy living in Georgia? Right now, we live in Vietnam, Nha Trang, and I'll be honest, right now, I enjoy it here way more. Yeah, it's just the right place for us to be. The dopamine addiction of consuming screen time is unhealthy. That's a super good point. And as much as you're watching me right now live, try to limit your screen time. You cannot escape it unless you decide to, and you decide to cut all the contacts, or temporarily escape it. That is also not necessarily a bad thing to do. But in the nowadays, sometimes you cannot do things perfectly, though you can do the best way possible. What I try to do is, one thing, obviously trying to limit the screen time. Sometimes I'm bad at it myself. Sometimes, I think we all brain rot. But fortunately, my goals and my schedule is to put the way that most of the time I'm productive. Most of the time I'm having a healthy way to rest. We have ability to sleep well and sleep enough. So I couldn't ask for more than that. But also, what I would suggest is go and unfollow and unsubscribe everything that is there are a lot of things that you subscribed and followed before, and it's pretty much useless. Like my Instagram, for example, I unsubscribed a lot of useless stuff that I had before, and now, for example, I'm Instagram. I'm keeping with I'm following a lot of mixed martial artists, and UFC, One Championship. And what it helps me, it always gives me there's some news coming in. Oh, it's okay, let me check that. So even in that case, it becomes productive. The information you choose yourself to expose to. So it was a very good point. And as much as most of us cannot escape from it and make it perfect, there are ways how to do it smart, that it can contribute to your goals in one way or another. Sometimes I think I wasn't built to the life of the modern human in the modern society. My mind and values are very adjusted and at home here. Emotional, physically, I'm nocturnal and in wilderness. It's kind of, I guess, relatable. A lot of people as well. But at the same time, you are living in the best times in the world when it comes to the access to traveling. You can travel anywhere pretty much except for certain locked places. You can get exposed. There's still, as much as there were more than 8 billion people now, there's so many places and lands that are actually inhabited. So I think as much as there's social media and this and that, you still have, if you actually do it smart, you have a choice and ability to create that life of more of the solitude, closer to the nature in many parts of the world. So if that is something that you really want, just start planning it. Just start using the today's reality, how to adapt or even how to use certain things to your advantage, because there are things to your advantage. Medical care, I mean, the level of, if it's now and the level it was, so if you are ever going to need a medical care, you can get it. I know, and if you are from US, the healthcare is crazy, like the paying the stuff, but I'm just saying generally that there is an ability to get the medical care, there is ability to get the materials, you don't have to go to woods and start everything from scratch. You can get a real materials purchase and build a house anywhere, right? For example, you can purchase land in some countries way cheaper than it would be US. So I would just start looking. There is actually this one guy, I'm following him on the Instagram, I'm following his journey. He purchased €5,000 house in the middle of nowhere, like in the Balkans. I mean, not in the middle of nowhere, but it's like in the village, and there's like a town. There was even barely a road. So he started, cleaning it up, fixing it, and neighbors joined in, like Balkan neighbors, and he made so many friends. He got the sponsors. So now it's actually super cool house, and I think it's something that all those people get unified and doing something together, which is beautiful, because as much as you want to live in solitude, I think you still need that smaller community, but the strong, good community that you guys can rely on each other. So there's so many things that are possible now, just if you start thinking outside of the box, you know what I mean? So I wish you the best in that journey, and I hope that you find the way how to make it work for you. Okay, the problem with dopamine addict through unnatural stimulation is that it leads to need to constant stimulation. Yeah, it truly does, but it is exposed. Like, you can reset. It is possible to reset. It's almost like with the substance addictions too. It's not hard. The first thing is you might need to change environment, isolate yourself. You might need to ask people for help. But again, when it's like just dopamine through food and pornography and like just video gaming, it's like those kind of resources, not the so-called substance, alcohol and drugs, then in that case you can just start setting goals and try to help people, ask some people for help. One of the good ways is find an accountability body who are like training, they're like your friend, and they're just gonna drag your ass out just for the consistency's sake. But you should do those things one thing at a time. Another thing you can do is, it's like wake up and you're just laying down and you spend the next 2 hours in the bed scrolling. Well, once you wake up, you gotta go to bathroom very often. So on the way to the bathroom, instead of laying back in the bed, open the curtains, just wide open, just open the glass, look in the outside, get that the sunlight in your system through your eyes, let yourself be, and then maybe go for a walk. That is also a good way. It's a little basic change, but if you do that consistently and often enough, it's going to start that chain reaction. And definitely not going to harm you, that's for sure. Okay. Your mind controls the outcome of your body. That's absolutely correct. People who have anger issues, tantrums, this and that, it also, apart from the personality and trauma and all that kind of stuff, it heavily lays on the physical body, the way it is at that point. If you don't have good enough sleep, if you consume alcohol just to escape the reality, if you eat whatever you get a hold of, if you have a social circle there, just not a very good quality, you're just not going to be as stable as you would if you take all these negative factors away. Tell that to a young generation who are raised on the screens. Well, that's the thing. Screens are there, but it's we parents. I mean, I'm not a parent yet, but we, as the future parents or current parents, we need to start just say putting kids in the sports. The best thing you do, just put them in some sport for them to play and learn and communicate, socialize with other kids. It's very simple. By definition, they're going to be busy instead of just sitting there and watching the thing. You know what I mean? It really depends how you just occupy your kid. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much, guys. I'm from Georgia. My mom is from Crimea. She's half Russian, half Ukrainian. So I know Russian fluently. But I'm from Georgia. I was born in Georgia, raised in Georgia. My father is Georgian, so I identify myself as a Georgian. Okay, what do you think about who will win, Arman or Dean? I'm going with Arman. I'm going with Arman too. As much, I don't necessarily like his personality. He's a little bit, he's been acting arrogant and said some stuff, and also he ducked Islam. That's 100%. But definitely, as the mixed martial artist, he's stronger. He almost certain he's gonna win. Okay, parents need to be more aware of their children's screen habits because kids are not aware of it. Exactly, and that's a soft parenting thing that, okay, I'm against necessary. I was raised in the environment with screaming and yelling, and that's not good for your kid. Trust me, it's not. It's but being as a parent, having an authority, being in charge, and even having the right dynamic, like the father has to be the biggest authority. As much as he might be like a sweetheart, kids love his father, they need to realize that father is like the highest authority, and there is the mother who's also higher authority about them. But that can be done without screaming and yelling. That can be done with teaching them the real boundaries, showing your boundaries, and that if they cross through the boundaries, they're not going to get anything good out of it. Training, sports, playing games, like that kind of circle, just put them there. Let them socialize with other kids. They're going to start learning how to deal with people, how to deal with other kids from the very beginning. Things like the gymnastics, the hiking club for kids. There are actually some in Georgia too, and they're super wonderful, super great. So kids learn how to survive in the nature, like those basic knowledge. Put them in some, like if they're good at art and music, put them in that environment too. Just do that, and have them apart from that time when they have that independent time with other kids of their age. Have them with it, like when you train. When I would do boxing, I would have my kid next to me, and I would start teaching them a little bit. And when they grow into that, they would want more. They would want me to hold the pads for them and that kind of stuff, rather than just leave them somewhere with this tablet. You know what I mean? She means unsubscribes from anything that is not useful anymore. Once you change what you see and who you follow, or it's just helpful. It's because since you are exposed to social media and content and this and that, anyways, well, at least choose what kind of content you are exposing to yourself to. It's not as addictive to me as it used to be. The damn shorts are that makes time get away from me. I'm learning something or interesting. It's not a dopamine hit. It's time we'll spend. Yeah, well, the factor of the time that's been taken away from you, and if you learn something, that's great. I still stick to longer YouTube videos. I like watching and listening to longer stuff because my attention span is there. You know what I mean? And even when I start reading, I haven't read a physical book. I listen to the audiobooks. I haven't read a physical book in a while, but I started implementing the habit. I'm just reading a little bit every day, and it helps me to train my focus even better. So it is your choice how you do it and in what scale you do it. Just there is ways. It was more like a tip to choose the content that actually not only you want to see, not only for entertainment, actually can teach you something and might give you what you actually need. And even that screen time that you spend scrolling things and meetings, like that content popping up, that might not be even that much of the waste of the time anymore. Yeah, someone is talking about that specific like friend's wife or something. Yeah, guys, if we're talking about honor and dignity and decency, and like to think, oh, but if I fall in love, no, that's BS. You gotta be a little bit choosy and actually choosing who you fall in love. If you are just falling in love because you follow some instincts, that means your intellectuality, your intelligence when it comes to choosing people, like you completely rely on your instincts. That's not choosing. That's like, this is a very wrong narrative of like, oh, I fall in love with, you cannot help who you fall in love with. Oh, damn sure you can. The more aware and more intelligent you become, the more you study, the more you investigate and research, you actually realize that you start looking at the people's criteria. So you're trying to be smart. And one thing in the first place you don't look at your friend's wife or someone in that close circle. There are literally so many other women. Just go out in the world and try to do it there. Respect to your brother. Wishing you all the best, your full recovery. Anything you need, man, I'm here. That's very sweet. Suggest a book. Okay, and please don't spam this. Like I see there are more messages. I think might sound a little bit cliche, but really look into the Robert Greene 48 Laws of Power. As the woman, I super enjoyed that book. It is more literally aiming at the main topic how to gain the power. So it's like gaining power over people, influencing them, getting up in the social ladder, that kind of stuff. But if you don't look at it necessarily only as that goal, like being, high up in the politics or that kind of stuff. It's a super great book where it breaks down the laws, why those laws are in the place. And there are certain feminine ones too. So that book, I don't know, like it should be interesting for women too, because actually the best, I think it was one of the last laws, fluidity. And the example was the Queen Elizabeth example, where she created Enigma, but she achieved her goal. She didn't marry any other man. She didn't give away her power. She became like a single ruler of the country for, like, I think she lived until she was 84. And she created Enigma of she's married to her mother, her land, her country. And people took it. But also her ability to navigate how she would do that in the court with her courtsmen and stuff. She would use a feminine tactic. She would not act too much arrogant. Like, you know what I mean? There was like there are certain laws that contradict each other, but you kind of need to keep them in balance, because if you do too much of one thing, you might compromise on another thing. So it's, in my opinion, it's a brilliant book. So yeah, suggesting that one. Yeah, Chris says he's fully recovered and he's cancer-free, training boxing full-time. Yes, that's true. I'm his coach. Hello, always go to your life. Thank you, I appreciate you being here. She has the characteristics of Southern Russia, Georgia, Ukraine. Well, I'm Georgian, from Georgia, but I have both Ukrainian and Russian blood in me as well. Howdy, Kyla. So yeah, Kyla is one of the 5% of the female audience, and me and Chris love her. So howdy, howdy. It's lovely to see you too. You can look up the Cal Newport and his book Deep Work. He talks about social media and its effects. Okay, I'll screenshot it. 1 second. Yeah, I screenshotted it and we'll look it up later. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, looking through the chat. I go out. Mostly, well, again, I'm telling you, try to fix it. There's such a thing as a circadian rhythm, and when you mess it up, it messes you up as well. Well, I'm not worried about mine, talking about me, but men need to have control and not run after everything they can get. Yeah, that's true. You know, because if we're talking about, there is now narrative about, women, like the negative effects of the OnlyFans and like all that short-term gratification, which is completely true. We need to teach girls that, no, that you're more than that. Don't try to capitalize on it and ruin your reputation long term, and especially if you plan to have kids, that's going to be horrible for them, right? But also, men need to be like, if you really want to be a real man, you cannot just say, oh, she's more available. Even if your friend's wife is available to you and she's like, playing that game, you are responsible as well. If you're a good friend, you're never gonna do it. You're never ever gonna do it. And men who think that, oh, but it's like she wanted it. Well, he's your friend. And even if it's not your friend, if it's just acquaintance, someone else, it's still a good thing to be decent. So start teaching yourself how to behave and how to control your urges and be more choosy. It's actually going to help you in the life as well. Meaning that you're not desperate and you're not running after anything that is available, but you actually learn how to choose by setting certain standards. We need more values, we need more morals, and both men and women need to start acting on it, guys. Any cure for thyroid? I'm not a doctor, I can't tell you that. The one thing you can do is definitely help with improving your sleep, isolate yourself and detach yourself a little bit more from the stress, and a diet. And hormonal background is a little bit tricky. If you have an actual hyperthyroid, there are certain things that can be modified. There are certain things that you will need a medication, but never ever improving your lifestyle, sleep, diet, and baseline activity would ever hurt you. So, as a coach, as a trainer, I can suggest you to do that. You guys have the best UFC fighters. I mean, they're doing well for such a small country. We Georgians are really proud. So being from Georgia, does that mean you're Russian? Now it's quite a festive thing to tell a Georgian. I mean, I'm just letting you know. So if you just say that to Georgians, oh, that means you're from Russia, they're like gonna get angry about that. No, Georgia has been a separate independent country for 2,000 years. It's one of the oldest countries in the world, actually. If you like, if the surviving current ones with a current language and a culture. We've been suffering from a lot of invasions from the Muslim world. There were Mongolians, the Persians. There was Roman Empire influence too, and then there was Russian Empire. And then there was the Bolshevik Russia, and this is where we were in the Soviet Union. But then when the Soviet Union fell apart, we regained our country independence, basically. It's not perfect. There are now a lot of political proxy Russian influences are going on, and the Georgians are not happy about that. But Georgia is the country with its own long history, culture, language, and identity. I want to raise my babies with you all babies one day. We're so like-minded. I mean, that sounds super awesome. We actually, when we were saying building the community, and it's been challenging at times, finding the right people, but this is how we see that too, having, even like being able to travel different places, and our kids being raised to, like with your kids, with other people, like-minded people, and we like friends, and we're friends within, like, together as families. That is super awesome thing. That used to be normal thing, but that is the one thing we need to bring back. We need to bring back stronger family units, and therefore we need to bring stronger community units as well. Because when you have few families that care about each other, like here in Vietnam, they have that. Now there has been flooding and it's been struggling. A lot of people, a lot of volunteers, neighbors helping each other, families helping each other, and this is what we need more of it. Common sense and direction hobbies. Yeah, Chris, I love how Chris is Norwegian, but he is like, you see, he's getting like, Georgia is not Russia, and well, it's not, and I already explained. It is bordering with Russia, it's bordering with Turkey, and it is east coast of the Black Sea. Chris says, we love you, Kyla. Yeah, we do. Okay, 21 subscriptions to get before 10,000 guys. So, well, let's get there. Well, 20 now. Intermittent fasting, it helps to reset the hormonal background and the endocrinological system, but still talk with the healthcare provider. Be careful that don't do, because some people, as much for some people, intermittent fasting is a very good idea. It works. They're just kind of built for it. For some people, it puts them at a risk at the dropping the sugar levels in the blood, fainting. There's like, it's a little bit tricky subject. So before doing anything like that, always get your blood test and talk to your doctor first. Loyalty and fidelity are more important these days than they were when we were kids. Now, because it's like now everyone is feel free to do whatever they want, kind of thing. And now, okay, then what? We got the freedom. But that's the thing. Freedom without the responsibility leads to the chaos. It leads to the destruction. And part of having that freedom is making the right choice. That is something that is very common for it's in the Christianity, that God loves all of us, but he gives us a choice, within that freedom. So what choice are we gonna make? Subscribe, people. This is a really good community. Thank you. Appreciate it, Dream Chaser. Do you do any handstand work? I've done a little bit, but I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of the blood pushing my skull when I do that. Obviously, you gotta get used to it, but as I said, no, I haven't been investing too much time and effort to it. Good enough for heaven, ever light, ever stolen, ever cursed, ever. I don't know if I'm not sure if that question is to me, but we all are in the Christianity. We all are sinners. In the Hindu and Buddhism, for example, we all create our own karma, and so on and on and on. We're not perfect, but it's about the journey. It's about finding awareness and self-consciousness. Develop the observational skill, trying to separate what is good or bad, but that's also understanding that world is not clearly about good and bad. It's about a positive chain of reaction, negative chain of reaction. You might do something with good intentions that can create a negative chain of reaction, and vice versa. So we're living in a very complex world, guys. Here's the thoughts, guys. Find yourself an actual girl in real life. Yeah. Well, yeah. Find a good person, good girl, good man, a good woman in your life. Just start really, like, forget about this idea we don't choose who we fall for. Start choosing who you fall for. Start choosing the person you're gonna choose for the oxytocin production. Because I'll tell you, if you spend enough time with pretty much, not everyone, but someone that you are relatively, they're okay with, you actually might find them attractive in a while, because the oxytocin is the bonding hormone, and it is kind of a big pusher for us to mate and obviously make babies and breed, basically. But yeah, that's why I'm saying that choose with your brain certain qualities that you want in people. You want them to be loyal, you want them to be peaceful, not liking drama, you want them to be able to deal with the hard times, you want them to be kind and simple. Like, a lot of people are very complex now. They need this and that. There's nothing wrong to be complex in your head, but I appreciate more simple people who just can be happy with most basic and simple things. And that says a lot about their personality. So look for those criteria and then choose who you fall for. And then put yourself in the situation to spend enough time with them, and you shall see what's going to happen. Hi, Dakota. Well, I like Dakota Dicheva, but I don't think we look like anything. We don't look like each other. Well, Chris says that he's been around the girls, this and that, but he needs the one to start for family, and I've been carefully selected. Basically what I told you, like, about criteria and choosing who you fall for. No spamming, guys, please. I disagree. You cannot make yourself love someone. No, but the science doesn't work that way. The reason why you... Okay, what happens when you just see someone and you're like, wow, okay, that person, and you have like so-called love at the first sight? Well, that is a chemical reaction. it doesn't matter why it happened. It's usually a factor of, well, a little bit you being having a certain personality traits, like being a little bit too romantic, being maybe not exposed to that many people before. That's why younger people, that's like the first feeling of falling in love is why, because that didn't happen before often, and we haven't been exposed to many men and women in our lives, right? So there are factors why that happens that way, and a lot of people cry about that. I never would fall in love like I did, like in high school with that girl. I still remember that. Well, but that's the thing. It's just because your how to say that your oxytocin is just, it's something new. It worked super hard, just targeting that specific person because of their look or because of their voice or mannerisms, combination of things. It's like a subconscious reason. But if you break it down, why that happens, it starts making more sense. And when you grow, and when you grow more older, more intelligent, and you try to take control over your life, when you realize that, yes, you don't force yourself to fall for someone like that. But what you can choose yourself to put yourself in the same room with the person who's been selected with the certain traits from the very beginning that's going to determine potentially the success of the relationship. That's why it's okay. You see a beautiful girl, that's good, that's perfect. But if you see them being too selfish, too self-centered, manipulative, just because you fell for them because your oxytocin and your hormonal background told you so. You can control it if you want to. It's just the thing is, a lot of people don't want to, because they love the feeling of love. They don't actually love in most of the cases. They just love that feeling. But why? What about your rest of your life outside of that love? Is it good enough? Are you happy about your life? Are you self-accomplished? Do you have other things that make you happy? Very often people get exposed to that idea of falling in love, like, and not controlling, not being able to control, because of out of the desperation, a lack of experience, and refusal to actually take the control, because it feels so good. It feels so good when it's like you feel something. I understand what it is, but you can't control. And there is always, like everything, you gotta sacrifice some things. Yes, in this case, you sacrifice maybe there is the other girl you fell like for her looks and stuff, but there is another girl that you know for a long time, and she actually cares for you and loves you. She's good looking as well. Well, there is the two choices. You rather go blindly for that another girl that's just not good for you long term, or you actually make a wise decision and you realize, well, I feel good and safe with that girl. She's actually taking care of me. I actually care for her too. Well, let me choose her and see what's going to happen. It's in that case, it's going to be way higher chances for you to build something successful, rather than just blindly following your hormonal and chemical reactions. Okay, I'll keep scrolling up, guys. Appreciate you being in the chat. Thank you. Okay. Are you Georgian? Yes. Merab is the real Georgian. He definitely is. What do you think about Islam, not the UFC guy? I'm a little bit skeptical towards the Abrahamic religions, including Islam. There are some values I might handpick and share from them, but definitely Islam is not, in many ways, it's not lying under my personal belief system and things. I actually find myself more and more relating to Hindu and Buddhism, not in the practicing way. That doesn't mean I'm going to go and go to full. It's more about reading the materials and texts and understanding that it's just the opposite of what it is in Abrahamic religions. There are some common things that I think is called inherent truth, and they are truth. But there are a lot of things that, yeah, I agree with, and we can relate more with the Eastern religions, for example. You should marry Merhab. He wants a wife. We all want him to marry, and he says he wants a Georgian wife, so that's great. I'm already married, so if I would have someone, I would try to introduce them. But I think there are a lot of people who are trying to do that already. I should clarify. I mean, loyalty and fidelity is more important to me than it was to me when I was a kid. I loved, enjoyed much freedom then. That's a fair point. My last girlfriend stole my car and drove into McDonald's. I hope you got your car back. USA should become nationalist country and reject all immigrants and all people, regardless of their illegal or not, unless they're a wedded tourist or have specific specialized skills. Well, I agree to be a little bit cautious of your borders and stuff like that, and not having just the open doors for everything. But US is a little bit different. For Americans, being a nationalist is a little bit difficult because you actually have different backgrounds. You have Italian, Irish, and you have like French, Spanish Americans, because that in the first place that country was built on immigration. So kind of going too tough on it, it's a little bit different. You already are the mix of different religions, and you also don't forget about the indigenous Americans, right? If you start that movement, well, you gotta expect that indigenous Americans might come up and say, "Oh, you know what? Just go away. We want our land back." That's a little bit too radical way to look at it. I understand where it comes from. I absolutely understand, and I agree that the borders shouldn't be just the walking field for people just to walk through and like stay in country illegally for 40 years. That's definitely not the thing that should be happening. But be careful with going too hard on it, because it's going to create the other issues. Okay. Chat reading is delayed. Yes, a little bit maybe. Surprise, surprise, motherfucker. The king is back. Hi, Australian. I would love to come to Australia, but I think the flying, the spider rain and the huntsmans and all the weird creatures are a little bit pushing me away from that. And it's also super expensive, guys. Don't be rude. My husband says, don't be rude, you're gonna be kicked. That's okay. What? My name is Diana. Democrat or Republican? Well, I'm not American, so I'm not either. But I can relate. In Georgia, we have Nationalist Party and we have Georgian Dream Party, and it's the same. It's a whole, like, neither of them are ideal and perfect, but there is also super big division between people. I think those two of the parties need to, if they really want good for for the country and United States, they have to be a little bit closer within the common ground. Like they need to find a common ground. So the people are also not despising each other based on political views. I can see some of the very useful things from most of the old religions. I do not hear or claim to be any specific one. I try to remain flexible and open ideas I've never heard. Ever evolving craftsman. That's a very good wording, and this is absolutely how I feel myself. Communism or capitalism? 100% capitalism. I'm right now in a communist country, but guess what? If you come here in Vietnam, it's a pure on capitalism. They are just communists on the paper. And I think that's kind of, there might be certain rules, certain laws that kind of create certain people get some how to say that. There's some fields where there's equalization, but at the same time, people that everywhere it's a business. Coffee shops, food. People who own homes, they open like a little shops in their first floor and they sell stuff. So, yeah, I'm not saying capitalism is perfect, but it's just definitely not a communist. If you want to see real communists, you gotta go to Cuba. Are you working on the tips I told you in the boxing? Well, I haven't done anything in a few days because of the stormy weather, but I'll do it. I'll do it from Monday when the gym is open. It's like not the stormy weather is a problem, but the gym is closed. It's funny when you ask me, have you ever heard country India? I think India is one of the major biggest countries. I think everyone knows what is India. Yeah, and I actually me and my husband been in India. Do you like USSR? Definitely not. I'm not saying it didn't have some sort of maybe positives, but for some people, definitely not. And funny enough, my grandma, my father's mother, is 78 years old. Healthy lady, she's, upright, standing, absolutely conscious. And she said that she always hated it. Even the moment when she was a young woman, she hated it. There was so much repressions, and it was a hypocrisy too, because if you were close to the government, you would get a lot, and people they created an environment, the culture of snitching on each other. Not good that when you create a situation where people just to gain their own to have their own gains, they're ready to sell their friend, their family member. That is kind of funny, but also kind of sad that they pretend to be communists but are actual capitalists. Well, one thing I would say in Vietnamese defense, I would say, when I learned a little bit more about Ho Chi Minh, the movement leader, he was actually a quite educated man who got his education in Europe, France particularly. And at that point, it was imperialistic. There was like a royal family ruling Vietnam, and they were completely isolated, and people were like dying in the horrible poverty. So he came in and he used so-called like Marx's and Engels's theory as the making the peasants' life better. And but in the meantime, his goal, he really tried his best to have a good relationship with everyone. That's why it was his words. He said, "The nation, the patriotism first, communism, the communist second." I think that's the only leader who said that, and that's why Stalin and the Chinese leaders, they didn't like him like 100%, and that's why within 25 years, apart from U.S., French and Chinese tried to occupy Vietnam, but no shit, that didn't work. So I think it was based for them just to make life a little bit better. But they also understanding of that the relationships has to be like you cannot just isolate or just choose one protector, because that also gonna put you in a situation that your identity in your country, independence, is gonna be stolen. So Ho Chi Minh tried to play double and triple game basically for his country's sake. And essentially they ended up to the economy works, there's import, export, the tourism works from all the directions. And they are just like, but at the same time in Asia, I think their idea is they're ready to give up this some called like full freedom of speech or democracy for the unity. There was some political the analyst who was saying that, and I like how he put it, that in the Western world we have freedom of speech, democracy, free will. Here, being strong and united, even for the costs, for like some political freedom, whatever it is, because people live their lives, they do their stuff, they have little businesses here. Everything is moving. You go any place, have people. Is it like a small Vietnamese shop or it's like a high-star restaurant? There's always a customer. There are always people there, and yeah, as I said, they found a way how to work for themselves. But again, it's not a pure communism. It's like almost the communism on the paper to me. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Gary, young Gary versus Bilal. I go for young Gary. Hello from India. Hi. I appreciate it. I'm already married. Okay, so you guys don't have to marry me. Yeah. Bilal by Hackfest. I'll still go for young Gary. Have you ever been knocked out? I've been knocked down, head punch, but I've been knocked out, taken out by a liver shot twice. If you experience that ever in your life, it's a tough one. Led Zeppelin or Beatles? Led Zeppelin. I love Led Zeppelin. I sing some of the Led Zeppelin too. One of my favorite old bands. I can respect a man who promotes love and preservation of one's own tribe, family, group first, and then extends the hand of love and coexistence to others. It's easy to say, not always easy to find. That's a very good point. Yeah, I like how you word it. Okay, 12 to 10K. The thing I want to do, I'm gonna disconnect the mic. Just let me know if it works good, because I want to charge my phone and make sure that it doesn't die in the middle of the live stream. Okay, 1 second. Should be fine now. Yeah, fine now. Wrestling or striking? I would go for striking since I'm focusing more on boxing, but I like wrestling too. The girl, the hair. Thank you. I mean, it's got healthier. I used to have I had it bleached at some point. I had like a white hair, and then I got back to my it's not my natural color, but that's the color of my choice and my personality, and it was not very good. But now it's a little bit damaged in the bottom, but it's growing. My husband says building community is ultra complex and difficult, but worth it. Yeah, it is absolutely worth it. Favorite fighter other than Ilya and Merab? I would go for Alex Pereira, and there are many that I like, and Alexander Volkanovski, like those two of the current active ones. What's your nationality? I'm Georgian. Me var Sakartvelo'dan. I'm from Georgia. Did you enjoy Islam versus GDM fight? Okay, it was not the most exciting fight. It wasn't the worst fight I ever seen, and I enjoyed Islam actually outstriking GDM too. I was like, because I expected GDM to give Islam a hard time on the feet. But Islam showed the high-class defensive striking. There was like leg kicks. There were like a lot of diversity. The check hooks, and GDM was just flat on his feet. He like almost felt like he got broken not from the wrestling, but he already was not good first time that Islam countered him, and he realized that he's just better at the feet. I think that was the really first time that GDM just got emotionally destroyed. And like when it's like one-sided, you just watch this one fighter. When it's like both-sided, obviously it gets more exciting when you have the equal exchange. So the fight itself was dominant from the Islam side. I don't understand the hate that is like it was super boring. It wasn't super boring. Actually, if Islam just stayed a little bit more on the feet, because he was winning on the feet anyway, so he could stay more on the feet and like wrestle a little bit less, I think people would be happier about it. But in this case, GDM couldn't do pretty much anything. So yeah, I mean, I can't blame fully Islam for how the fight went. Okay, that's the first word. LOL. I love you, Chris. I want to marry you, brother. Get over here. Okay, I'm just gonna stand. I'm gonna be a cameraman. Anyways, guys, love to connecting with you. Love connecting and talking with you. Are you British? No, I'm Georgian. I have a husband. He's right in the chat here. Do you know Merab Dvalishvili? Of course I do. No one wrestling street fight where you don't know how are in world boxing with low kicks. You want to stay on the feet in the streets. In the streets, you want to stay on the feet. In the streets, you want to avoid street fights as well. It's also, you guys, like, I mean, guns are the best protection. So self-defense. But if you ended up into a situation where you engage in that street fight again, you want to stand on the feet. You don't want to turn it up on your back. Are you an athlete? I'm training. Hey. Okay, 9 to 10K. Okay, guys, you're doing a great job. I appreciate it. And yeah, let's get me to 10,000 subscribers. GDM was just trying to survive and Nissan was looking for submission. I mean, again, if you compare to Khamzat versus DDP, DDP was really put in the situation that he was surviving the entire fight, and even in the last moment, he used Islam's mistake and he ended up on the top, if you remember that. So DDP was really in the situation. So GDM, I'll be honest, on the feet, when he had chance to do more, he was just slower. He wasn't as good on the feet. So footwork wasn't as good. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened to him. I think from the beginning he just went completely off. Yeah, Islam's performance is a masterclass. Who do you think can stop him? If not Ilya, who? Oh, in the welterweight, I would. You know what? I can bet on the Morales. Because it's the combination of factors. He's a weight bully. He's like massive, and let's look at it that way. Islam might be one of the most decorated fighters currently in the UFC, but do you imagine Morales? Like if Morales lands like 1 to 3 punches with such a crazy long reach, being that tall, having a wrestling and and judo background himself, that means he's not going to be as vulnerable as GDM on the ground, and he's also bigger, so he's going to be harder to be taken down on the ground. But they also, if Morales lands the punches, 2-3 punches on the Islam, do you think he will knock him out? I think easy, but not only Islam. I think he can pretty much knock out anyone in the division. So here, it's not that much of the Morales is more decorated than Islam. It's just purely because fighting a bigger, more powerful person. Yeah, pound for pound, Islam is number 1 at this point. Arman versus Dan, what's your take and who do you think will win? I will go Arman. Arman by a For what rather submission or decision, that's kind of how I look at it. Can be a knockout, but again, like you cannot predict anything 100%. But definitely Arman is winning, in my opinion. Ilya can beat Islam any day. His team is also avoiding him to fight Ilya because they know that. Well, I mean, there's combination of factors. Ilya actually been saying that he doesn't think that Islam is running from him or something. He thinks he was the same problem as Ilya had in the featherweight, difficulty of cutting weight and that kind of stuff. But the point is going up, and Ilya I think said it, he would go up and prove that and try to become triple champ. And kind of not a bad strategy, because if he loses, people would say, okay, he dared at least, you know, he's not a duck. But if he wins, that would be legendary, like three division champion. From the other hand, I still think that 170 is a little bit too heavy for Ilya. So Islam definitely is going to have a size and the weight advantage here, and that's going to help him in the wrestling. From the other hand, well, 155 would be perfect for Ilya, but Islam's not going to go down there. I don't think so. The only option I see possibly having a catch weight somewhere, maybe 160, 162 would be an optimal. But I don't know. I think that fight's happening in the White House card. It has to happen. That's one of the most anticipated fights there. Is Iran a good or bad country? I think Iran is a beautiful country with amazing natural sources, and I think there are a lot of great people there too. But the current government is just suffocated with the people in the country. I'm from Caucasus. Yes, I'm from Caucasus. I'm from the Caucasus region, literally. So you're supporting Ilya and Merab? Of course I am. In this case, I'm even biased. Like I will always tell my honest opinion that if I think they win or not, but I always tell them that I want them to win. I'm from Georgia, the country. 8 more subscriptions, 7 more subscriptions. Tornike, Gamarjoba. So have another fellow Georgian in the chat. Rogorkhar. What do you want to say about Khamzat Chimaev? What do you think about Khamzat Chimaev? Arguably the best wrestling in the UFC, but the problem with Chimaev is that if he is not gonna get enough resistance on the ground, like he's just gonna go for whatever works the best for him, and he's kind of stated it many times. So, and we were talking about it. Should the UFC referees start breaking off the ground time more often when the submission attempts fail and there is like basically just you know so-called activity, just like some few punches here and there? I think they need to break it off and put it in a stance. Like Islam's fight with Usman and Burns, Gilbert Burns for example, was more entertaining. The reason is because he got a good resistance on the ground too, and the guys were taking it back into the striking. And it's interesting because the Khamzat has that power. He actually has that power, and he has some good knockouts. It just, you know, it's rather playing like safe and just rely on the hardest thing, or it's trying to be more entertaining. Like you have fighters like Ilya. He's a natural wrestler, but he decided to put his boxing game on the elite level because he knows that people's gonna love him for being a knockout artist. You have yeah, I think Morales is kind of same too. He keeps it, even though he has the judo and the grappling, the wrestling background himself. He still prefers to keep it in the stance. And I think, I don't know, I think people just gonna tend to like fighters like that more. Not only dominant ones, but the ones who try to be entertaining. Keep scrolling up through the chat. How you're gonna celebrate 10K? Gotta have more than a coconut. LOL. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just gonna celebrate. We'll find a way. Haha, be careful. You know my wife knows how to fight. Well, that's my husband saying it. I'm also super sneaky. Don't think I'm just gonna start and try to brawl you. I'm super sneaky. Like once it was, I'm gonna tell that story. So my husband is super big, so we were just playing, you know, and like you play wrestling, and I just literally sit down on my butt. I did a little bit BJJ. I did like sort of anaconda to his leg, and I just dropped him, and I ended up on the top, and I was like, "Ha! If I had a knife." So I ended up in top position. I'm super sneaky, guys. So yeah, don't underestimate small people, because we gotta fight unfair when it comes to obviously not in sport, but when it comes to, you know, just play fighting or self-defense. Islam advised Craig Jones for 2-3 years Dagestan. LOL. Well, that's actually was a good example of just the BJJ training not being enough. Yeah, GDM managed not to get submitted by Islam, and that's it. So BJJ is basically it. BJJ against the wrestling. He and Ilya actually said it. He said it a little bit too harsh, but he said like that was a disgrace, and GDM has to go 2-3 years to Georgia, forget, and do like a full wrestling camp, which is fair. Guys who are weak at wrestling and they try to rely on BJJ against the wrestlers, that's not gonna really help too much. So I think people need to, the fighters who are lacking the wrestling, they need to start having a full-on wrestling camps. Morales is huge. Yes, he is. 5 subs till 10K. Alex versus Hamzat. Who win? Well, Alex is bigger, and he might. You see what he did to Ankalaev. He definitely could do that. But again, Makhachev is the best wrestler in the division, so he would just take every opportunity to put the game in the ground. And I think Makhachev is, again, his wrestling is elite, and he's big enough to actually control Pereira on the ground. So that would be probably a hugging match, except the moments where the round starts over. And well, it depends, because when you're in the defensive position in wrestling, you get exhausted, you get super tired. So the energy expanding is more whether than someone who is on the top having a control over you. So yeah, it could just wear Alex off. But if Alex would step in same as he did against Ankalaev, you know, Alex has the knockout power, you know that. First, he need to face Arman is hunting for Ilya. Oh, I think Ilya wins against Arman. I'm not saying it's going to be easy fight. I think in the division, if we take, I don't know, Paddy and Arman is definitely harder fight for Ilya, but Ilya is going to win. Kyla says, I'm so glad that hockey games went late tonight, so I'm still up to witness and celebrate the 10K subs. You all, thanks, appreciate it. Well, let's see. We're glad you're joining us, guys. So yeah, keep scrolling up. Merab versus Volkanovski is the fight to make. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, that would be cool. That's interesting. But they also, so yeah, you have featherweight and you have a bantamweight. I don't think they're just interested in it. But if that fight could be promoted, if they promote it correctly, yeah, that could be a fight to happen, no doubt. I do love you both. I'm grateful to find you guys. Very high quality folks. No matter the countries you all came from. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. We like you too. We like people. We like meeting certain people here because yeah, there are a lot of viewers and its community is growing. But there are certain people who we just almost feel like they're friends. You know what I mean? Islam double champ. It's not the double champ. It's the two division champ. Because he vacated. He left his belt vacant in the lightweight. He's big for his weight class, though. Also, his fight with smaller Burns were competitive. LOL. Yes, it was. Yeah, as I said, if you don't give Khamzat enough resistance on the ground to be able to take it back up in the thing, he's gonna just keep being on top of you. But this also was the period where Khamzat has problems with cardio after COVID, and he was quite sick, so he was not his 100% either. I'm from Georgia. Have you colored your hair? It's natural. No, I have a colored hair. My hair is like it's a light ash or like a light brown or quite a natural hair for the Slavic women. I got my colors from my mom's side. She's Slavic. Because my father actually has a solid black, curly, thick hair. But yeah, both me and my sister went to my mother's side more. This is the colored hair, but it just feels and looks natural. Of course, Texas. I hail from Texas. I don't know. We're lucky to all the Texans we met. I think they're awesome. So that's good to know. The biggest country in the upper 40 USA. Alaskans are from another planet. Those guys and girls are cut above. Well, howdy then. 4 subs to 10K. Come on, guys. Help me out on this one. Now it's 4 subs, yes. Yeah, Kala is also from Texas. Yeah, she's still here in chat. I can see her. What's your favorite Pride fighter? Fyodor. GSP can easily defeat Islam. Not easily, but the GSP was like a ultimately super athlete, super fighter, strong mentality. He could push through the struggle. So no, I don't see him necessarily. I see Islam winning first time and GSP winning second time, something like this. He's getting ready for bed. It's 4 a.m. in Texas. That's late/early. Khamzat versus Israel Adesanya, how do you think would win? I think Khamzat, through again the super dominant wrestling. I love Israel. He actually dealt with quite some wrestlers. He arguably one of the best strikers in the UFC, but at the same time, just Khamzat's wrestling is just super pressuring, super dominant. If you cannot do anything, if you cannot resist against him on the ground, which I don't think Israel would be able to, then no point. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country. Have a good sleep, Kyla. Yes, absolutely. Just go get your rest. Oh, just quitting my boy, Connor. LOL. Slavic, what country? Georgian, but partially Slavic from my mother's side. It's getting darker though. Okay, two. Oh, okay, it's like announced 9,999. Come on. Let's just one more to go. Who will be the 10,000 subscriber? Are you an early morning person? I can be. I can be. I always let myself sleep, and we always try to sleep despite waking up early or late. But I like waking up early. It feels like there's so much more time to use in the day. Let's go, folks. Hi. Everyone, subscribe, like, share. Hey, thanks, Inspire Vibe. Super chat. Keep supporting. Yeah, thanks, guys. It's quite exciting, actually. Congratulations on the 10k subs. Very well deserved. Here's to the next 10k. Wow. Okay, is it officially we have all 10k? Well, it doesn't matter. There's one person, so I bet there will be. Do you know India? Of course I do. Everyone knows India. Islam versus Shaukat, Gary versus Usman, Pradas versus Morales, GDM versus Brady, the fights to make. Ooh, yeah, no, it's a very good take, absolutely. Well, Islam, that's the thing, but even though it's like Islam versus, did Shaukat recover from the injury? I barely hear anything from him. So I know the last time he had an injury and he had to kind of rest. But yeah, Islam versus Shaukat is a super interesting fight, though. I don't know, it depends. I kind of see that Carlos Pradas might be as the first contender because that could be the easiest one for Islam, and it depends what UFC is planning. I gotta move a little bit, guys. Sorry, I need to. It's starting to rain, and it's literally just the wind is blowing to my direction. So just give me a second, and I'll just move to the inside area. I don't know, should I? Just the loud music inside, so I'm just gonna keep it. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, no, but it's a good take. I would definitely watch that sequence. Super fight. Yeah, thank you very much, Inspire Vibe, for supporting and well, listen to them. Becky Lynch. Okay, 10k subs. Here we go. Okay, how do we celebrate it? How do we celebrate it? No, I'm just gonna take that moment and just say thank you. Thanks to all of you. It's been quite a journey, and you know, 10k might not be big for someone, but to me it's 10,000 people for following. A lot of people out of that amount are watching, following my journey, following me and Chris's journey. And I don't know, I'm getting emotional. I cannot thank you more than, yeah, I cannot thank you enough. So let's keep it up. I'm gonna do my best from my side, and yeah, just stay around. Super appreciating you. I wouldn't even imagine that we would get to 10k when I was starting. I was pretty much insecure about it. I didn't know that anyone would watch, but here we are. So thank you again for all the love, all the support, all the motivation and encouragement. I'm your new subscriber. Thanks. Guys, you're amazing. Morales is the guy right now, looking forward to his next fight. Yeah, no, he's definitely he's a threat to Islam. Shaukat is also like 100% knockout, right? Like super interesting. But the reason why I'm saying Morales is because the factors of the size, the wrestling background, and the ability of do defense against wrestling, and the huge, crazy knockout power and crazy reach. So the guy has all, like he has it all, and Islam's it's not gonna be easy for his son. He will have to adapt to it, and he will have to grow bigger himself too, to be able to cut and then regain after the rehydration, regain then X amount of weight, and kind of have that weight in as well. Are you Irish? No, I'm Georgian. She reminds me of Dr. Sarah too. She's great one. Live streams here on YouTube. Oh, interesting. I'll look her up. Now we need we gotta get to 20k. Whatever amount we need, we're gonna get there gradually. Hello, hi to India. Love you all. See you around sometimes. Absolutely. Well, in Texas it's quite an early morning, so never neglect your sleep. Try to go get some. You're winning so hard it's got the windy. Is your hair natural? Not really. Okay, I'm all the way up in the chat. You deserve more subscribers, ma'am. I appreciate it, guys. Oh, we'll get there. Like your wives. Absolutely. Appreciate you all. She's a bright one, very special. The honor is ours to be in such a superb company. That's that's sweet. I'm gonna start blushing, and you know, when you say very special, my husband likes to call me very special needs. I know. Oh, hi Rebecca, Frosty Cupcake. How are you doing? Thanks for hopping in. And you see, we got to 10k. And well, you helped in the period so much with moderating, so I gotta thank you too as well. Congrats to your increase on this milestone. All of your subscribers' lives are better because you're in it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Are you in Texas? I'm not in Texas, but Texas is here. a lot of fellow Texans. Hope you guys are well. Don't forget like and subscribe. Yeah, we're well, and I hope you are doing well as well. Tell us how is the life. Yeah. You guys who are like being long here, like you know, you're always welcome. Always welcome in the chat. Proud of you. Thanks. Sorry I haven't been around much. Nah, no worries. You gotta have your life in order, that kind of stuff. But you know, there is always a community. You can always come back whenever you feel like you know, talking to like-minded people and just feel you know, feel yourself. No problem, we just missed you. That's what Chris says, and I agree with that. What's your name? My name is Diana. Ma'am, you're a fan from India. Mark my words, this is soon gonna be a 1 million subscriber channel, or even a 1 billion subscribers strong. Who knows, but you really deserve it. Lots of support from my side, ma'am. Thank you very much. This is super encouraging words. As I said, guys, I cannot thank you enough. You're wonderful. You're amazing. You know, not all followers, subscribers, not all viewers in different like channels, not all audience is great. Let me tell you that. And you are great. I'm not saying just because you're in my channel. I'm just judging by the conversation, the tone, the respect that you're putting here in the chat, that you try to help each other and share your experience and knowledge, your stories. This is truly beautiful, guys. Ha, it's made for the wind. Yeah, it's and you know what, Vietnamese winds here in the Chiang are super nice. They're like, you just walk and super fresh. And you just gotta face it with your face. Ooh. Someone just was riding a bicycle and just fell, but they're fine. There was someone else to help. Nice name, Diana. Thank you. Yeah, there's my Instagram. Let me pin it up. I'll just pin message. This is my Instagram ID. Feel free to share, follow me on Instagram as well. Yeah, Chris, my husband reminds you guys, don't spam. Feel free to ask questions, but please don't spam. I'm from Georgia, that's true. You speak so lovely. Thank you. The nose needs surgery. Finally, someone noticed it because I actually do technically. It's not that bad, but because of my amateur boxing, I was flushed with that super heavy hook from my friend. But yeah, then my septum is a little bit shifted. It wasn't broken, but it's a little bit shifted, and technically I need surgery, but I'm gonna get one only after I'm like 100% done with any type of sparring and combat sport. So I'm just gonna give it more time. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for being here. Just trying to get a better light now. So let me just, yeah, maybe that is a little bit better because it's getting darker now outside. I'm married, yes. Did you know you look like just Dana Scully? I've been told that. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Like people just think that I look like some other people. I get Becky Lynch and Scarlett Johansson maybe the most often. Any plans to visit India? Well, not at this point. But we've been in India. We've been in few cities, including Mumbai, Goa, Amritsar, Haridwar. So it's more like west and then a little bit north, and yeah. So it's like just a little part of the India, but it was a very interesting experience. It doesn't look that bad. You look cute. Yeah, I mean it's not bad. Breathing wise, it's not bad either. I'm just saying that. Well, I actually had it a little bit deformed, but it's okay. As I said, it can be fixed once I'm like fully retired from fighting. And I'm actually planning to do the pro record, so there is no point getting any surgery right now. If it were not for the wind, there are a few islands that wouldn't be so full of rats. I think you know what I mean. That's a good one. Sis, can you do an Ali shuffle? I will do it, but not now because it's super wet. I have slippers on. On Monday, we'll back to training. The gym opens back on Monday. Hope the weather is also getting better. And yeah, I'm gonna live stream more from the boxing gym, and there I can do Ali shuffle. Can you wrestle? Can you wrestle? No, you can't. GSP is GOAT. Yeah, it's personal for me as well. He's the GOAT. And I think he's one of the few ones who doesn't call himself a GOAT, which is quite refreshing. Oh, okay, some lights coming in. Congratulations on 10K. Good night from Florida. Great, thank you very much, and thanks for your support. Why my comments not showing? Where it shows now, so maybe I just fit check. Okay, I'm not standing up for the fit check. Not now. When I do my training live streams, there you can see me full size. So, but I don't do that kind of stuff. Like just get up, feet check, turn around. No, I don't do that. You have a Renaissance face. I've been told that, and I mean, I think that's cool. Which a tattoo on your arm, so it's like a dragon, a female, like a female warrior profile, and both are in the profile, so they're looking same direction. So it's like a same, different forms, but the same entity, and the bloody katana, because my tattoo master thought that it would look cool, and I agreed with him. Ma'am, just in case I'm sharing this, your channel is amazing, you're doing really good work, and it's pretty obvious. Some people might give negative comments, but I would suggest you to ignore them. I appreciate it, and it's okay. I usually ignore most of it, but sometimes you gotta take someone and just confront them in a respectful and the positive way, so people understand the tone of the channel. And again, as long as you respect, give that respect in the chat to me, and you get that back, that mutual respect, all's gonna be good. I don't think I would be able to be here if I really worried about negativity. In reality, the negative comments are engagement, and as much as I don't want negativity, I'm not trying to push build my content and my presence on being provocative and controversial. I also always say that if you say something negative, I mean, you actually engage into my content, and you help me to grow my channel. YouTube doesn't really differ from positive and negative engagement. Pure awesomeness. Thank you. You're also you awesome too. As I said, guys, I judge you by what you're saying, how you're saying too, and therefore I'm gaining that respect towards you, depending how you present yourself in the chat as well. Angelic Boxer Diaries, hello. In hockey slang, you're what would call a rocket or a smoke show. So beautiful inside and out. It's cool to learn more about the hockey slang. Rocket smoke show. But yeah, guys, I don't know. It's like crazy. I've been live streaming for 3 hours now. Thinking to wrap it up soon because, well, gotta take a little rest, do some other stuff, do some work, and yeah, I don't know, it's still mind-blowing. 10,000K, passing that milestone, like with your help, with your support, consistency. You also, guys, I want to tell you that you keep me accountable as well, because it's not only about me anymore. Every time there's something and I don't feel like doing it or anything like that, I'm like, there are people who might want to waiting for me, and it just creates you help me in so many ways. I think a lot of you don't understand that fully. Just popping in, new subscriber, but so far you seem like a thoughtful and talented athlete, and thank you for your content. Sandy, thank you very much. First of all, welcome. And second of all, I absolutely appreciate your words. I was just saying that you guys giving me so much encouragement, directly or indirectly. Sometimes you might not even realize it, but that is creating a win-win situation, and that energy feeds me, and I'm able to give that positive energy back to you guys, to my audience. So well, we wouldn't be able to do that with without each other. Believe in your values and move on. Yeah, gotta believe in your values, and gotta find the people that share those common values. Negative people are 100% either a child or is simply just a loser. Well, that's one thing, but also if we turn on a little bit of compassion and empathy, like I'm not losing anything, but I usually like to ask, and that's been the most winning strategy, but also something that actually makes a change in the world. When I see people being like that, unless they're just like really trolling and being super nasty, but sometimes I might ask, "Are you okay?" Because if you're okay, if you're really miserable, if it's something like you're angry at life, angry at the things, and that it has sometimes it has reasons because people go through struggles and at times they get angrier. But I always encourage them to, you know what, try to express yourself, try to talk here. You know, maybe that's what you need. Maybe you just need to express yourself and have someone that listens to you, even though it might be a live stream and a live stream chat. And people can all of a sudden they're like, oh, maybe that's actually it. And there have been cases like that, and I think that's the definition of the transforming. So even if there are losers, and we are losers sometimes in our lives, and that happens, maybe we just need a kind hand. Maybe we just need a little support or someone who actually sees through that anger and believes that we actually have way more to provide to the world rather than that anger. Okay, I'm going through a lot right now. Somewhat the time is brutal, but your channel is one of the very few channels I'm subscribed to, and it helps me to just keep moving with optimism. Well, that's super. Like I appreciate that a lot, and that's an honor too. You know, being let's say if you're subscribing to a few channels and one of them is me, then I'm doing something right. But at the same time, yeah, life can be tough, but focus on things that you can control. There's so many things in today's modern world that you can change. It's just like before I learned English and I was locked into Georgian and Russian environment back in my country, Georgia, there were moments that I felt that like there is no point of trying anything. But then I learned English because I knew that this is one thing I gotta do to keep moving forward and open a lot of doors and opportunities. And then I always was afraid of traveling, and yeah, it took me to meet my husband so he could grab my hand. But in reality, you gotta research a little bit, or maybe try to travel with the friends who have experience. Start traveling, start opening your horizons, and start seeing the places. Oh, maybe there is a country which is, oh, this country is cheaper and actually better, and maybe that's the country I could be able to at least spend some part time in, and be able to work, save up money. Maybe I don't want to be like work in that one place. Maybe I want to do remote work because that's gonna give me a flexibility for trust. So there's so many structures, the thought structures, that if you put it all together, you can create great opportunities for yourself and so-called freedom as well. So yeah, just glad that you're staying around. But there are ways, there's so many ways, there's so many doors and opportunities to be opened. So don't stay in that frustration for too long. How's training going? A minute since our times matched up for me to be here. Training is going well, except just a few days it's been flooding and super bad weather, and gym is closed. So they're reopening on Monday, and I'm gonna continue training on Monday. Hey, appreciate it. Warspawn MMA. Thank you. You sent the gloves, so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna flash up my biceps. Thanks for the donation, guys. The super chat donation helped to grow channel, so always super appreciated. Being a fighter and giving psychology free consults is awesome. I've been working with one-on-one people, like as a personal trainer, for a long time, but that's the part of it. The psychology is part of the existence, part of the sport, basically part of the working with people. That having been said, I better get before Chris comes back and vlogs me for giving away compliments. Well, you gave him some compliments too. You were the one who wanted to marry him, so I think he was flattered for that one. Yeah, compliments I could have given for him. Yeah, exactly. Love you guys. Appreciate you too, and please, yeah, just come around. Lovely to have you here. Yeah, we're just back on the monetization again. Thank you, Warspawn, and any donations, even if it's small, it's just super helpful and super appreciated. You're both dear to me, no matter how many miles separate us. If I ever find myself stuck in the hell of the tiny boat, Father, please let it be with folks such as this. Super appreciating. I mean, one day that's our fate. We gotta come to Texas. Hopefully, I get approved with my I don't know, like a tourist visa or whatever visa. We tried to apply it, but I got rejected for probably a lot of traveling. But that's okay. One day we'll get the opportunity to come to the U.S. Texas is the place to come. That's for sure. Who's going to win tomorrow? There is I didn't look who all of the fighters that's fighting. I'm gonna go take a look at the other matches as well, but between Arman and Dan Hooker, Arman wins in my opinion. Bilal Muhammad and Ian Gary, I go for him. And there is also in the prelims Alexander Topuria versus Bekzat Alikhman. I forgot his name. I don't know, maybe I mispronounced. I think Topuria's brother wins. But I'm gonna try to live stream that one too. So we're gonna do the live stream reaction. You're an Apsara in Hindu. It means a woman of breathtaking beauty and wisdom and intelligence, and all suits very well on you, ma'am. I appreciate it. That's super appreciated. It's actually interesting because I'm reading a lot of the Hindu. I'm reading about chakras now, and how it relates to the Hinduism. You know, like Shiva Shakti relationship and the creation of the whole universe. And there's so much wisdom. There's so much wisdom behind the Hinduism, and by extension Buddhism, and like that part, that culture. So yeah, that's quite interesting that I'm kind of on that part of my journey when I'm learning a lot about it. Mahacha smokes a top Shura. Well, we shall see. It depends which weight class too, because obviously he will have advantage in 170, no doubt. Texas will be glad to welcome you. It's a freaking hot here though. Bring the wind with you, or the rain. Gotcha. We'll try our best. Connecting with you all is definitely no coincidence. I'm so blessed to have stumbled into your stream half a year ago already. Not a day goes by that I don't think about and pray for you all. It's kind of the same. We're also mentioning you a lot of times, and like some of the other people who are following us for the quite a long time, and we already have sort of personal relationships. So guys, absolutely appreciate you. And again, Bert, to tell us your actual name so we can call you by the name, and it's amazing to have you first but not the last time. And with the Kyla, it's always, if she doesn't appear in the live stream for a while, I'm always like, I hope she's doing well, and like sending prayers to your direction, to your all's direction as well. Canada here, hello. Greetings from Himalayas. Himalayas are awesome. Greetings to you too as well. Pereira versus Islam, who is better? Islam is way more general decorated fighter, but Pereira is just fire. Pereira is like one of the best strikers in the UFC, and just a personality, and he's like Poatan. I just love Poatan. Apart from Georgians, one of my favorite fighters. Pereira is too big for Islam, and Islam avoids power strikers. That's why I'm so interested against Islam versus Moraz, because Moraz is like almost Pereira with a grappling in the welterweight division. What's up? Hi. Okay, I'm from. So okay. But anyways, guys, right now I gotta go. Well, it's been a blast. We got to the 10K. I cannot thank you enough again. I'm gonna keep saying that and further down the line as well. I'm gonna live stream like talking format for until Monday at least, before the weather comes up and the gym is open. So I'm gonna get back to the training, the boxing tips, boxing training, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Isini, morning from England. Hope you're well. Yes, absolutely. Thank you all, guys. Yeah, sorry, some of them may be popping up right now, but I gotta go now. But well, feel free to subscribe my channel and just, you know, so you stick around for the next live stream. Have a good day or a good night depending where you're from, and I see you in the next live stream. Ciao, guys.